Dragon Feather. Today, I'm sharing stories I probably shouldn't because I'm bored and people are in the house working and I am alone and unsupervised, therefore I can say things I'm not supposed to. So if you're excited, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and come join us for your daily dose of Dragon Feather. I am here in my room, just chilling. Like I said, we have some guests over doing some recording in our studio. So while they're doing all that, if you guys hear like any music in the background, that would be why. So we are here kind of just waiting for the studio session to be over before we, go to dinner and stuff like that. So in the meantime, I figured I would share some stories and tell you guys some things I probably shouldn't because I'm bored, right? Probably should share some things I shouldn't when I'm bored because why not? Why not? I can do whatever I want now because I have this thing called free will. So yeah, I'm also really tired of being too anxious to talk in general, especially on my channel. So we're really just not gonna worry about that today. Anthony Rivera, hey, hi, hello, welcome back to your Daily Dose of Dragon Feather. Today, I'm going to be sharing stories with you guys that I shouldn't, because why not? I might have to change because it is very hot. I underestimated how hot it would be. Why am I wearing a sweater? Who knows? Nightmare Fuel Studios, hey, hi, hello, welcome back to your Daily Dose of Dragon Feather. We are going to jump into some stories I shouldn't be sharing with you guys, probably shouldn't be sharing with you guys, but Dragon Phoenix, hey, hi, hello, welcome back to your Daily Dose of Dragon Feather. Your name is quite similar to mine, actually, so cheers, Dragon Phoenix, your name is awesome. Eddie's Funhouse, hey, hi, hello, good to see you, hope you're doing well. We are sharing things we probably shouldn't today, in a little bit. Don't want to jump the gun too fast here, but yeah, the stories I will be sharing today will include the juice of the spirituality stuff that I've been doing, the juice of the celebrity world marketing stuff that I do, and of course, the juice of relationships and stuff like that. So here we go. Hey, sorry, I haven't been here in a while. It's okay, Isinator. Hey, hi, hello. Welcome back to your Daily Dose of Dragon Feather. Arguably, you haven't been here in a while because I haven't been here in a while. I went live a couple days ago, but it's been like a week and some change. Mostly because I've just been moving my life in every which direction. I'm very much like reinventing myself right now. Shh, don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone. Like, I literally am I'm like reorganizing my whole life. Like, literally, like, no, like, rock in my life is being left unturned. Like, I'm going back to everything, every single, like, part of my life that I've, like, abandoned or, like, left behind or forgotten or have, like, shamed or shunned or abandoned and rejected. Like, I'm going back through my whole, like, life experience and, like, collecting those parts of myself. It's been hard work, but it's been really rewarding work, and it has been something that my dragon guardians told me to do, and that was prompted by me getting attacked by a stray cat a couple weeks ago. So, Pearl's Music Mix, what's up? Hey, hi, hello, welcome back to your Daily Dose of Dragon Feather. We're about to get into some scandalous stories, whatever you would consider scandalous, I don't know. Noise, I have to redo my Book of Shadows, and it's so rewarding. Yeah, same as Nader. Dragon Pharaohs, I miss you. Hey, hi, hello, welcome back to your Daily Dose of Dragon Feather. I hope you're doing well. I hope you and your partner are doing well. I miss you very much. You got attacked by a stray dog and a stray cat? Stray dog. Did I say cat? My bad. My bad. Watering plants and listening in. Yay! I love it. Excuse me. So today I'm telling you guys stories that I really shouldn't be. I might get in trouble by my management team talking about this. If I do, I'll let you know in my next video, but I'm really just bored, okay? Like, I'm bored and I didn't want to not be bored. I'd rather just share some spicy stories to entertain myself, because why not? Why not? Okay? Trust me, you're not ready for the shit I'm about to tell you guys today. Like, it's just ridiculous. Karina Capucci, I'm not going to be talking much because I'm not in a good mood, but I hope everyone is doing well. Oh, that's okay, Karina. I'm glad you were able to come and make it. I hope my story times today can help lighten the mood. When I was a kid, I was bit in the face by a dog. Dude, same. I was bit like right here, like the dog's like bottom jaw went into my nose. You can like see, I was like bit like right here. It was like right on my nose. It was awful. But I hope that your face isn't like damaged like mine is. Literally, the dog kind of gave me a nose job. I'm not gonna lie. I like your flowers. Thank you. But yes, I also have a heating pad because I'm a little chilly, so let's get into these stories, all right? All right, okay. Which one should I share with you guys first? Hmm. Should I share with you guys? Oh, I got the perfect one to start with. Okay. Loving the hoodie. Oh my gosh, thanks, Arctic Wool. This is actually my boyfriend's merch. He like custom made it for me only, so like you can't get this hoodie. It's just for me. Like, sorry. But it has like his crystal from his Aura album and then his name. This was like a prototype too, so it was like one of the first that he made for the merch line. So thank you. I love it too. It's one of my favorites. But yeah, so I know the exact story I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna start with a witchy story, okay? So we're gonna do a couple different kinds of stories today. We're gonna do like witchy spiritual story. We're gonna do like my work. My work is like celebrity media management marketing. I'll just tell you guys a ridiculous story about that. And then I'll also share one with you guys from my relationships. You guys aren't ready. So Carlin Parker, yo, what up, chat? Hey, Zero, hello, hey, hi, hello. Welcome back to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. I have no mouth and I must scream. I love your flowers. Aw, share away, we will not judge. Yay. Okay, thank you for the flower hype in the chat. I appreciate it. But yes, so the first one actually takes place when I think it was in 2020 or 2021 actually. This was like one of the more like dramatic like spells that I've ever done, and like I want to make it like very clear with you guys, like I literally don't really like cast spells with other people. Like I'm just gonna put that out here right now. Like I am a very like solitary practitioner these days. Okay, like I'm really not gonna be like going out of my way to cast magic with other people, and that is very much by like the direction of my dragon guardians. Like they don't want me to get too involved with like a coven or like other witches, just a lot of drama, and they said that it'll really distract me from my own trajectory. However, this particular story I'm telling you guys about was done with one of my family members. I'm actually not going to share who it is because I don't know if they want me to share that information. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to not share who it was in my family, but it was a family member who did this spell with me, okay? And we were in our, like we have a family cabin. And so we ended up taking a trip up to the family cabin just to kind of like spend some time together and like whatever, because like the family member I'm talking about doesn't really live in like the general area that I do. They live in a different state. So they came to visit and check on me because like in 2021 I was very depressed. And so they came to say, they just came to say hi and came to visit, come to spend time with me. Very sweet. So we ended up packing up all of our things to go to the cabin, and while I'm packing, they kind of hint at wanting to do a cord cutting spell. And for those of you guys who don't know what a cord cutting spell, it's very popular on TikTok for the wrong reasons, but it's essentially a spell where you just like you severed the energetic connection or bond between two individuals or two or more individuals, right? So I was like, that's very like intense magic, you guys. Like, and this is a type of witchcraft that like I don't really talk about even on my channel, like let alone to like my family members. So when my family member asked me like, can we do a cord cutting for like a past like lover that I had, or like past lovers that I had, I was like, oh, okay. Like I was not expecting that. So then I was like, okay, I guess I'll be packing up the witchy supplies too. So I grabbed my things, right? I grabbed my salt, I grabbed my tins, I grabbed my candles, I grabbed my cord. I used hemp cord. I grabbed like all of the like oils and herbs and stuff that I needed to do, etc., right? And so when we get to the cabin, like we are doing, you know, like we're like unloading everything, doing all that. And then like nightfall comes. And so then now we're preparing the living room to do our ritual. And so we're like cleansing the space, you know, with like smoke and stuff. I set a crystal circle around our working space, and I cast our circle, and I did a cord cutting as well, mostly because, like I said, I've been through a lot of abuse. So I did a cord cutting with some of my abusers, and this is where the story gets into the territory of maybe I shouldn't be sharing this with you guys. So while we are doing our cord cutting, she did more than I did, and I did 2. And so we had about like 6 or 7 like active cord cuttings like happening at the same time. Like this is where I fucked up. Like I was like so deep into my depression and like hadn't practiced witchcraft in like many years that I was like so like, I guess you could say rusty in my practice, that I was just like, wait, maybe this isn't a good idea. Like, so there was like literally 7 cord cuttings at once. 7. Do you understand? Do you understand how much energy that is? Do you understand how much fire that is? That's not even the best part. Okay, so we literally start doing our thing, doing our like, you know, so we're like carving our candles and like putting the intentions into it and like really just charging it with our absolute most. Okay, mind you, I've never practiced witchcraft with this family member before. Okay, like never in my life did I know that this was gonna happen. Okay, so we literally are like filling the things with sand, and then we're like setting it up and like wrapping the cord around and like getting everything to like actually light everything on fire. And then they wanted to go first, so I was like, cool, like I'll show you kind of like how to do the thing, whatever. Like we did a couple walkthroughs just because like they never done this type of witchcraft before. Cool. So I'm like, all right, so here's what we do. Like ran through the thing. You're gonna say like whatever you feel you need to, anything that you're intuitively felt to do. If you need to scream, if you need to cry, if you need to laugh, feel it, you know what I mean? All of that, do all of that. It's so much fun. Okay, and then and then like we started it. And it was fine. Everything seemed to be going really well, actually. So we all lit our candles to start the cord cutting. And then we had like a couple of seats, like because we used like a giant circle table. She sat opposite of me. Like their cord cuttings were like here, and then like mine were here on my side. And then, so basically, fire enters the chat, okay? So we light them on fire, fire enters the chat, all right? And for a good solid like 5-10 seconds, it was very peaceful and serene and beautiful, and like we felt like this huge like weight lifted off of our shoulders, right? Side note, one of the people that I cord cutted learned everything they know about witchcraft from me while we worked together. So if you remember them on my channel, you know exactly who I'm talking about. But when the candles started burning a little bit more and then got towards the rope, that's when things got insane. And by insane, I mean like actual fire hazard. Like actual fire hazard. Like I've never seen a spell go this wrong. So here, let me just tell you. When you cast any sort of fire magic, please take fire safety at the pinnacle of what you do. I'm gonna let you guys know right now, in our house, we did have a fire hydrant. We did not need to use the fire hydrant in this particular case, but I will say that we were thinking about it. Yeah, let me just let you know. We almost considered using a fire extinguisher for this one. Might have just spoiled part of the story, but I digress. So then once the like cords started lighting on fire, a couple of theirs went down pretty quickly and pretty like no drama, right? Both of mine had drama, and then 2 of theirs had drama. And one of them was like one of the person that they were the most close with, but they had actually already passed away. So that was crazy because like they were doing a cord cutting on somebody who passed away, which I think is a little, I've never seen anything like that online, right? I've never seen anything like that online. I've never seen anything like it in my books. I've never heard anyone practice that, but alas, we did it. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. All right. So let's see. Yes, so when we did that, okay, we got a little unnerved because like then the fire started getting like honestly out of control. And then on one of mine, like the cord completely caught fire, and then all of the candles went ablaze to where like it was literally like the whole entire dish. Like, do you know those like single use like dishes that they use to like make or like cook casseroles in or something like that. They're like literally like this big, like actually I think it was like close to like actually maybe like half the size. Like each one was like this size, right? So that whole entire tray was on fire. It was on fire. The whole thing was on fire. Like so much so that we had to like the smoke alarm went off. Like that we had to like open the windows bad. Like it was so like smoky in the house bad. Like it wasn't done there, okay? Then my other one that I did caught fire on half of it, okay? Half of the thing was on fire. One whole tray was on fire, the half of the other tray was on fire. And then the finale. Remember I said there was two of hers that were messed up? One of them had a little bit of drama and then it like was fine. It was done, whatever. The last one did the same thing that mine did and it caught on fire. And this was the one that was like the cord cutting with the dead person. That was the craziest thing maybe one of the craziest things I've ever experienced in witchcraft was cord cutting on a dead person. And like, I'm probably not supposed to tell you this. Like, I don't really share these kinds of things of my practice, but like today I'm bored and I'm a little spicy or something. But yeah, so like then we basically like frantically, we're like, fuck the circle. We broke the circle and like, because it was literally a fire hazard, right? So we broke the circle and like had to like essentially like pour water on this shit. And it like made like a whole like smoky mess, made it even louder. And then when we finally put the fire out, after we like contemplated using the fire extinguisher, but then we just used like a really wet cloth and covered it like last minute. We lift the trays up. And mind you, this antique table that's been in my family for generations now has these black scars on it from these like witchy practices. And we had layers upon layers upon layers of heat proof protected underneath them, like hot plates on hot plates on hot plates. And still there were scars on like a family heirloom. Wow. All I have to say is the cord cuttings worked and who we cord cutted was not happy about it. At all. At all. So, yeah, if you are ever interested in doing cord cuttings on your abusers, or cord cuttings on people who may have passed away, or just, you know, doing cord cuttings with other people who may not have that much experience, let me just make this very clear right now. You probably will not be prepared for what you're going into unless you have an experienced practitioner like trip sitting you. Like, you have to understand, when I performed this ritual, I was like 15 years deep into my practice, okay? Like, deep, okay? And I still felt like an actual clueless piece of shit when this happened. Like, I was like, years worth of witchcraft knowledge, who is she? Because I do not know what's happening right now. Like, it was that scary. It was that scary. I could tell you the story of when a spell I did went wrong and karma got my ass. Oh, Karina, let me tell you one, actually, fun fact. So here's another story of probably like the most badass curse I've ever done. And I'm okay with sharing it now, because like it was a huge learning experience for me. And it showed me, okay, this story showed me how powerful I was as a witch. It showed me just how much people will fear me because of that power. It'll show me how effective my castings are, and it will show me what kinds of magic I should and should not mess with. Okay, so let's jump into that one, all right? Okay, so this one actually took place this one started when I was like genuinely first starting this channel. Like, this one goes all the way back to like 13-year-old Azura. Okay, for those of you guys who've been around a long time, you will know that when I first started this channel, I had a boyfriend who I was with for many years into this channel. We were together for like 2.5 years from when I like started this channel to like I was like 13 to 16, we were together. Was it 16? Yeah, it was 16. So from 13 to 16, this person that I'm talking about is the one who I did the curse on. And if they're watching this, which I highly doubt because they just totally have me blocked on everything, but like I still feel bad about this, so like I'm just gonna tell the story anyway. Like, I'm sorry, bro. I genuinely didn't know any better. You have to understand, for context, like I practice witchcraft, and I started consciously practicing witchcraft when I was like 12, 13, and I never had a mentor. It was all intuitional, mostly informed by books that I found at Barnes & Noble and videos I found online and a very unregulated internet back in the day, the early 2000s. That is essentially like my backstory for this. So I ended up finding out towards the end of my relationship with this person that they were unfaithful to me. And for those of you guys who do not know, I am like the one thing that's more important to me than anything else in like a romantic relationship is loyalty. Some people might think that's like silly or whatever, but like fuck all the cheating culture. Like that shit ruins lives and ruins children's lives, and sometimes people never recover from it. And so like I just have no tolerance for cheating at all. If you cheat, you're a shitty person, and I don't really know if you can redeem yourself unless you like actually fucking try. Mostly just because I just don't understand it. Like I don't understand the motivation for cheating. Do you know what I mean? I don't get it. Basically, so we're like coming to the end of our relationship. I should say the first half of our relationship, because I got back together with this guy later in life. But so I cut this guy's hair all the time. We were a little emo couple back in the day, right? And so whenever I cut his hair, he was usually at my house because we were teenagers. We lived about an hour away from each other, and during the weekends, his parents would drive him over to my house, or my parents would drive me over to his house, or we would meet in the middle somewhere for like a movie night or whatever. This particular time, he came over to my house, and I just would cut his hair, you know, like a good girlfriend would do. And then when I kind of started hearing rumors about him not being faithful to me, I couldn't really help my wandering eye staring at the trash can full of his hair. I'm not saying I condone this type of magic. I'm just sharing my experience, okay? Making that very clear to anybody who might find this video later and wants to like edit it out of context, okay? So, this was what I did in my angsty teenage years. Calm down, okay? So, I couldn't help my little eyeballs wandering, all right? I was like, his hair in that trash can is looking very tempting right now. And then I got the call from his best friend. And then I got the call from his best friend. Why did his best friend call me? He never would talk to me like on his own. I would see him when we hung out together, right? But his best friend, I'm looking at my phone and it's his best friend calling me, and I'm like, hello? And he's like, I'm really sorry to tell you this. He's like, but I just could not sit with myself without letting you know what happened. And he basically told me that my boyfriend at the time was cheating on me with the girl he told me not to worry about. So I was like, oh, now that I have like real proof that this guy cheated on me, no mercy. I casted this curse in the throes of a fresh heartbreak of my first love. Let me just let that sink in for a second. The anguish of losing my first love to him cheating on me after he told me he would never ever betray me. I know we were young, but I'm the kind of person that has had like, I've just been through a lot of trauma already at this point in my life that I was just like, no, fucking swine. You're a swine. Your background is different. Did you move? No, I didn't. I'm in a different room now because I can walk again. So yeah, I was just like, fuck this guy. And I decided to make a jar. This was my first, it was like a curse jar, right? So my phone's about to die. Let me just plug it in. I made a curse jar for my ex. I'm sure many of us have done this. And I used some of his hair that was still left over from his recent haircut. And I don't really feel comfortable sharing the other ingredients that I used in the curse, but let's just say they were not family friendly at all. At all. But I will say I also used some of the flowers that he gave me to like rot. I wanted them to rot and putrefy, basically. So along the lines, the curse was casted: as long as you are ugly on the inside, you will appear ugly on the outside. Does somebody want to tell me why this man gained so much weight, all this acne, just problem after problem with his health after I casted this? I was shook, actually. From 16 to about 19, I was with another person. And during that time, this guy was alone trying to deal with his own shit. Because unfortunately, like, I'm not really comfortable talking too much about his family because, like, he has a very high profile family and it's kind of scary a little bit. Like Hollywood celebrity type of family, like, like you probably watch their movies all the time. So that's why I'm a little anxious about telling you too much detail, just in case anything happens. I don't want the wrong eyes to find this video, just because I have a lot of history with like celebrities as a child. I just do. So there is so there's this like, there's this time period that we weren't together. And while I was with the other guy for like 2.5 years, he was just the worst person. He was the worst partner I've ever had. Don't even think you could call that person a partner. Totally an abuser, like textbook abuser. And so I was with that person for almost 3 years, but then towards the end of that relationship, the person that I cursed, the one I'm talking about, ended up finding their way back into my life. I don't know how they found me. I don't know, because I had them blocked, right, back in the day. They ended up reaching out to me around, I want to say 2016. Was that right? I think so. And basically, oddly enough, the guy who cheated on me helped me escape the rebound relationship that I went into that ended up turning into an abusive relationship because he cheated on me. I feel like he was a little guilty, actually. And so after he helped me escape that, like, relationship, because it was very scary, I was not going to be able to leave that relationship safely alone, because after I left that relationship, I was stalked relentlessly for months, until I had to have, like, literally pull the white supremacy, like, what's it called? I literally had to pull the white supremacy privilege string, because, like, he wouldn't leave me alone. I had to get, like, my cop uncle, like my police officer family member, to like basically say, you need to stop. Like, and I don't know if I didn't have the privilege of a police officer as an uncle, I do not know if that man would still be stalking me or not. Like, it's so, like, I need you to be I need to be so honest with you guys about that. And so after I basically escaped that abusive guy, the guy who I cursed, the one I'm telling you guys, the first love that I had, he essentially told me that I was right. He said that he worked like hell to lose all the weight that he'd gained, to work over his mind. And he said that over years and years and years of like not being with me, he would have moments often where he would realize, like, wow, like, she was right about me, or like, wow, she was right about my family, or like, wow, she was right about my behavior. And like, a lot of it was really sad, because like this relationship that I was with, like, I was way too young to be in a relationship with somebody that committed. And like, he was actually the sweetest, most wonderful human being I have ever met, until he was put onto medication for bipolar depression. He called these things rage attacks. And once he was put on his medication, he just was never the same person. And it was actually really sad. Because like his brain was still developing. Like, they put him on meds at like 15 years old, and like or like 14, 15 years old, and like the man, like the first, like my first love, like who I fell in love with, like would never return after that. It's hard because it's like, that was like before he cheated and stuff too. So I can't help but wonder sometimes, like, what would have happened to him if like he never was put on medication and his family just listened to him and just cared about him and his mental health. And so my young brain didn't know how to process any of that. And I was heartbroken after he cheated on me. And so I cursed him. Whoops. And it worked. And it didn't like, it didn't backfire until I tried to dispose of the curse, because I kept the curse around for years. Like I literally kept it like in my cupboard rotting, you know what I mean? Like, and see, this was when I was a young witch. Like I didn't know that kind of magic I was supposed to like dispose of off my property. Like if anything, that like curse probably ended up like putrefying into an obsession spell over time. Like it's just like, it was really intense, okay? And then like, I don't know why I thought it'd be okay to get back together with that guy after I broke up with the other guy who was abusing me, because like this guy cheated on me before. Like why did I think he wasn't gonna do that again? Like, and it was only because like in my brain it was like, now he's not on those kinds of medications anymore. Like he, like when he came back into my life, like he had fought so hard to get off all the medications because he was realizing when he stopped taking them that he felt more normal. And then he was like, wow, my girlfriend was right, like I was somebody else on my medicine. I think a part of me is always gonna love that guy, which sucks. Cause like, dude, he was just a kid. He was just a kid who needed his family. And they ignored him and just put him on pills instead. Like, I can't fully hate him, you know? Because like, it wasn't even him. It like wasn't even him. Like, it wasn't my love anymore. It was literally somebody else. It was a monster. They created him into a monster, you guys. They made my love a monster because they wouldn't listen to him. And so when he came back into my life, I was honest with him about the curse. And it scared the hell out of him, and I don't blame him because he literally struggled so much through the time that we were gone. And he's like, I was ugly on the outside until I fixed my mentality. You know, like I wish I knew that when you said those things to me, you just loved me. You were just trying to be there for me because you loved me, and you didn't want to see the love of your life rot away in front of your eyes. And like I was like, yeah, like literally. And so we ended up getting back together for like almost 3 years. And you saw him on the channel for a while, you know, like he even made a lot of videos with me. And then during that time we had like this friend group. I mentioned it a little bit in like one of my last videos, where we were just all doing like a bunch of drugs, like psychedelic drugs. And we were like, we called ourselves psychonauts, and we were like, you know, tripping together and trying to figure out the world together. And we were young, we were kids, you know, and like we were young adults and stuff. And like I got back together with him around 19, and we were together until I was like 21, and he cheated on me again. Like what did I fucking expect, you know? But during the time we were together, I ended up taking a trip with one of my friends to Sequoia. I actually have a video about the vlog. I literally have a vlog on this channel, where I went into the forest with my friends, my friends who were twins, for their birthday. They had me, one of the twins' boyfriends, and then another one of our girlfriends. All 5 of us came and went, and my boyfriend at the time, just like his mental health like wasn't gonna allow him to go, and like the other girls didn't really know him like that, so they didn't invite him, which is fine. Like I wasn't offended. We missed him, we did. But during that like trip to Sequoia, because I at this point have like educated myself and understood like how to like properly dispose of magic and stuff, I ended up taking the jar with me to Sequoia, as far away as I could possibly get from my house, and I emptied it there. I like, you know, disposed of the curse there, and basically dissolved it because it had run its course. And and I asked one of the people to come with me. I asked the guy to come with me because it was late at night and I didn't know the area and I didn't want to get attacked by, it was a wild area. We were in the middle of a forest, so I didn't know if there was like bears or anything like that. Like I didn't know, I'm a child pretty much still. And so he comes with me and he starts asking me a couple questions, and I just really shouldn't have answered his questions because he was asking me what I was doing, what it was, why I was disposing of it and all of that. And he did not understand what I was doing. He did not understand. He just was probably scared because I said it was a curse. You know what I mean? Like I was disposing of a curse. And I really scared him to the point to where he told everyone else. And then after that trip, they really just didn't invite me to things anymore. They really just didn't engage with me the same way, and they found almost every excuse to kick me out of the group, and I wasn't in the group anymore after that. I was never, like, any group that I've ever been in, you guys, I've never been one of the like center people. I've always been the person on the outside, you know, that they like keep for who knows why. But yeah, and that was just a story, a really emotional story from my childhood growing up as a witch, and how I used the reason why I say that spell backfired a little bit is because I feel, first of all, keeping the curse jar in my house and not properly disposing of it, I think actually turned my ex into an obsessive type who like, it like made him obsessed with me, because like when he came back he was very obsessed with me, very territorial over me. He was like, you were mine first, I don't want anyone else to have you. It was very weird. Very weird. Like he was just like very much like, you were always supposed to be mine. Like I don't even know how to describe it other than that. And when I look back at it, very scary, like very creepy. It's giving serial killer, okay? Like and side note, this person who I was with in the time that we were absent was like also had a friend who was like extremely not okay in the head. And like when we got back together, he would like talk to me about how they were gonna like shoot up the school together, and like how like they had a plan and everything. And then like right at the like last minute, like my ex decided to like inform the police of what was gonna happen, and like then the police did nothing about it and like basically let him walk free. And then like now like his like best friend who was like gonna shoot up the school with him like had a bone to pick with him and was like out to get him, and like there was just a lot of weird shit, okay? Arctic Wolf, this is not the stream for me to describe how to become a witch. I definitely recommend googling that, and I'm more than happy to do a stream on that later, but for today we're doing the story times. So yeah, that's just kind of where that story like I guess leaves off. And yeah, now we just don't know. But yeah, I'm here, there, I was one of the leaders, and now there's nothing to me. Some people are toxic and I love them like brothers. One of them almost got me killed over some weed. Yeah, Pearl's music mix. These people almost got me killed through just doing non-safe drugs. You know, we did a lot of drugs together and we didn't test a lot of drugs that we did together. And the fact that I am alive today is very, very, very lucky. And for those of you guys who believe in the, what's it called? What is that theory? The Mandela effect. For those of you guys who believe in the Mandela effect, I'm pretty sure the version of me you used to see on this channel died. Do you guys believe in quantum immortality? Because like I just feel like the version I am today was not always in this timeline. Like I don't know how else to explain that. Mostly because there are so many instances that I should have died, but I didn't. And this was one of them. Honestly, it was one of them. This ex that I cursed was unfortunately physically abusive because he was physically abused. I'm not excusing the behavior. I'm just saying like that's where it came from and why I stayed, because I knew at the end of the day he was a child and he was innocent, and like I loved him and I was a child too, and I didn't have adults demonstrating healthy boundaries in a relationship. I didn't have adults saying like, no, you can wait till you're 18 to have a relationship. Like, no, like my dad actually fought my mom about it, like saying like she should not be having this relationship at this age, and everyone hated my dad because of it, but he was fucking right, just like he usually fucking was. Like when my parents got divorced, I should have gone to my dad, and the only reason why my dad did not get custody of me is because the courts are biased towards women. I hate to say it, when they, you know, like do divorces, like some children belong with their fathers. I'm sorry, I'm one of them. Like my mom was a heavy alcoholic when I was at that age, and only very recently has she been sober, you know? So like that's why I had to truly take matters into my own hands, because I had nothing else, you know? And like that's why I made this channel too, because like in my life I had no one to talk to about this, and so I was like, because I have nobody to talk to about like my passion for witchcraft and magic and dragons and fairies and like gods and goddesses and like all of this, like, and nature and all of this, like I can't just like try to talk to people about it. Like I have to have a place where I can like find others like me. Like I didn't want to, I couldn't do that, you know? So yeah, like, thank you Nightmare Fuel Studios, working overtime in this comment section right now. Honestly. But yeah. I have never met my biological father. Yeah, see, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm 44 and I've lived 4 lives. I shed my mortal coil every 10 years. It's great, I feel better every time. I love that, Pearls. I'm gonna have to take that one on. Sending spiritual hugs to you. Oh, thank you, Kat. You guys are so sweet. No, I just, like this is, I just want to like, just be more vulnerable. That's like honestly the one thing that like I've been learning working with dragons, is that like the weak dragons are the ones that hide with their horde, but the strong dragons are the ones that fearlessly fly into the sky, willing to lose it all just to defend what they love, you know, like just to guard the territory, you know, like the weak dragons are the ones that hide and hoard their treasure. I think that's so funny. When Pickle Chips told me that. And so Pickle Chips told me, bless this dragon guardian, Pickle Chips told me, Azura, you have so much treasure in your heart and in your mind and in your spirit. Why are you hoarding it to yourself? You got me, Pickle Chips. And the reason is because I've been afraid, to be honest. I've been afraid because my whole life, everybody's misunderstood me. Even my loved ones, like even today in the relationship that I have now with my boyfriend, like who is the most wonderful human being I've ever met and ever known, and who would just do anything to make sure that I'm okay and safe and fed and cared for. But even he doesn't understand me sometimes, and like I've had to learn, you know, I've had to learn like just because somebody doesn't understand me, just because I'm misunderstood, doesn't mean I'm unloved. That one really messed with me when I was going through these like meditation things, you know, especially as somebody who's been like chronically cheated on in like multiple long-term relationships, you know, like my trust in relationships has been completely obliterated. And for a long time, you know, like the curse that I casted on my ex was honestly to get my power back, because I felt like my whole world was taken from me. Everything that I thought that I was gonna have in my life was just not real. It just wasn't real. Like I was like being made to believe a lie, and like that's like the worst thing you can do to a human being. Like, you wasted my lifetime thinking that I was living something that was just a fucking illusion. Like, shame on you. Shame on anyone who does that to people. Like, holy shit. Like, holy shit. And so, like, because it was like an act of getting my power back, you know, like, that's how the only way I knew how to move forward from that. And like now in my even now in my relationships, I felt like the only way for me to protect myself from being like cheated on, or from me being like abandoned, or like somebody to just like turn up on me like that, I thought that the only way for me to like avoid that was to be the most pretty perfect girl in the room at all times. And I know especially women, like, have that kind of a trauma response when they get cheated on. They feel like they have to be the prettiest girl in order to be safe. And you don't have to be the prettiest girl to be safe. You don't. And I had to realize that, like, after going through that with, like, the first love that I had, who I really thought I was gonna marry that man, I really fucking loved that guy. I was so in love with that guy. And, like, now, with where I'm at, like, I just sometimes feel like, how do I get that, like, part of me back? Like, and, like, you know, I see on, like, TikTok and stuff sometimes, like, oh, sometimes you just have to, like, mourn a version of yourself that you'll never get back. And it's just like, no, I don't accept that. Like, I created these defense mechanisms around my unconditional love and my joy and, you know, my compassion and my empathy and my generosity, because you want to know what? Everybody took advantage of that for me. So the world made me a dragon. I didn't want to be one. I just wanted to be a fairy princess, but the world made me a dragon so I could keep her safe. But now, after doing all of that magic, after doing all of that, you know, like, all of the curses, all of the struggles, the dark nights of the soul, the heartbreak, the betrayal, the drugs, the fucking, you know, abuse, the fucking death, like, all of it that we had to deal with, you know, like, after all of it, I realized I don't want to be the prettiest, perfect girl in the room anymore. I want to be the most authentic girl in the room. I want to be the bravest girl in the room. I want to be the kindest girl in the room. I want to be the funniest girl in the room. I want to be the smartest girl in the room. I want to be the most loyal girl in the room. And now, I don't even care about my beauty. Funny how that works. You know, and the second that I started prioritizing showing up like that, now let me get into my next story time. For those of you guys who don't know, I work in celebrity management and media marketing for like my regular day job. That means I come across and probably work for some of your favorite celebrities. And so that means that I've seen a lot behind the scenes that most people only speculate about, but I can confirm are true because I see it with my own eyes. And so what I can confirm with you guys is that when I started getting into this type of business, I've always wanted to be a pop star. Like, if you go back to my channel in the very beginning, you will see that I posted like my own original music on this channel. And that's just because like my favorite thing in the world is to make music, you guys. Like, I love it. Like, music is my whole world. Like, the only reason why I learned witchcraft and magic was so I could make music my whole world. Do you guys understand? And so once I came to this realization of, you know, I don't need to be the most beautiful girl in the world. I don't need to be the most perfect put together princess in the room. Like, I don't need to have all of my makeup snatched. I don't need to have my hair perfect, my nails done. I don't need to have like, you know, like all the perfect jewelry, the perfect outfit, the perfect heels, I don't need that to show up to these events. I don't need to look like that to be part of this. Like, no, I don't need to be pretty or perfect or whatever. I just need to be present. And then I started showing up at these events with that attitude, and you can see it translate in my carpet photos. You can literally see it on my red carpet photos. Like my first ones that I did, I was still in that mentality of feeling like I needed to be the most prettiest, perfect girl in the room. And you can see in my photos how I just do not like the body I'm in. I'm trying to just feel right in my body, and I just clearly look so uncomfortable. Like, I'm just like, get me out of this bitch, you know? Like, but then once I got that mentality of like, no, I want to be the most authentic girl in the room. I want to be the most wise girl in the room. I want to be the kindest girl in the room. I want to be the most energetic girl in the room. I want to be the funnest girl in the room. I want to be like, you know, I want to be like all of that girl in the room. Now, when I get into those carpets and I walk those carpets, these A-listers are looking at me, bitch. 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 Do you understand? Do you understand? Power of your mind. I used to gawk at them being like, I want to be them. And now they're like, who is she? It's energy. Okay? Now I go to these things, and before, the girls didn't want me in their TikToks. The girls didn't want me in their videos. The girls didn't want to even consider me a content creator because I was just so different and I felt so insecure about myself. And now they're asking me to be part of it. They want me to join them. They're like, no, it's not the same without you. Get in it. Or if I like sit out sometimes when someone's like, oh, let's take a picture, and everybody jumps in the picture, they'll be like, Azara, get in the picture. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know? Never meet your heroes. Yeah, and you know what's the funniest thing? Like, some of my most like inspirational celebrities that like have been the reason I'm a musician today. Fun fact, actually dated the first guy I talked about earlier in the video. My first love is the grandson of one of these celebrities. That is the reason why I am a musician to this day. And then to have them, you know, like, instead of like feeling invisible, they're asking me about my journey now. They're asking me about like, you know, like, what do you do? Like, what kind, like, are you an artist? Oh my God, I had no idea. Like, you know, like, and it's even crazier because like, I'll talk to some of these people and I know that I've met them before. I have pictures with some of them, right? And like, and they'll like meet me now, and the way that they'll receive me as if they've never met me before. It's because they don't recognize me from who I used to be, you know? And it's just because I made the internal shift of who I wanted to be, you know? Like, you know, face card declines until it does. Like, face card never declines until it does, right? Like, and I was like getting to a point where like I was getting all caught up on like my age, and then like I see these, you know, I see other like talent in the industry that are like the age of when like that abuse happened to me, or when that happened to me, or when they did this to me, or when I was trying to escape that situation. And I was just like, it's not fair. Like, I wish I was still that young. I wish they didn't take my lifetime from me. Like, I wish I got to go on stage when I was that age, but I was running away from monsters. I was having to fucking make sure that I was still alive. I had to make sure that I was still breathing, that I wasn't gonna jump off the bridge, or I wasn't gonna do that extra line of drugs, or I wasn't gonna do this, that, or the other. And it's like, shh, baby girl, it's okay. You deserve a seat at this table now. And I don't have to be the youngest girl in the room. I don't have to be a teenager to make it. I don't have to be a 20-year-old to make it. I don't have to be a 30-year-old to make it. I don't have to. My life isn't over when I turn 30. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing that I want to talk about. I want to talk about the real shit because I'm sick and tired of dealing with it by myself. And I'm sick and tired of seeing other people across the world dealing with it by themselves, and I feel like I can't do anything but watch and leave a comment. Like, no, I want people to know that you matter, that you are the one who decides your value. And if you are cheated on by someone who loves you, who you thought loved you, you know, like, that's okay. That doesn't define your value. And I have spent my whole life learning that, because like I really loved this man when I was a child. I was a literal child. We were children. And I watched him change because of the medication his family put him on, and he turned into a monster, and he hurt me, and he abused me, and he literally cheated on me. And I loved him anyway, and it cost me so much of my life. It costed me so much of my youth, and I don't want that to happen to anyone else. I really don't. Like, I just want people to know that they're so special and precious and perfect the way they already are. They don't have to get surgery. They don't have to, like, look perfect. They don't have to use the filters. They don't have to do the trends. You know, like, you can literally just show up as you. And now I do that at these events, these red carpets. I walk the red carpet just as me now. And I'm not ever gonna feel bad about it. I feel so good. I feel so good, you guys, walking, you know, like the carpet with cameras in your faces, and you're not shy because you're proud to be who you are. I had to do that for myself, you know, and part of that journey for me was witchcraft. It was. You know, and like, I don't share these stories because when I do, I cry, and it's hard. I feel vulnerable. But like I said, my dragon guardians told me the weak dragons are the ones who sit in their caves with their hoard, and they hide away with their riches and their treasures, never to share it with anyone else. That is a cowardly dragon. That is a cowardly dragon. The dragons that are the bravest, that are the true guardians, are the ones that aren't afraid to fly high in the sky, making themselves vulnerable to be hit. And I'm not afraid. You know, I'm only afraid of going back. I'm only afraid of like losing any more of my time. I'm only afraid of ignoring myself. I'm only afraid of ignoring my dragons. I'm only afraid of not listening to God anymore. I'm only afraid of not working with my goddesses, not hearing my ancestors when they speak to me. I'm only afraid of not getting in the studio, of not working on my music. I have a studio day like for the 11th of July. Like, it's the first time I'm gonna be in the studio in years, and I'm so proud of myself. Like, I haven't ever thought I would get here, you guys. I thought that I was going to lose my life to an overdose. I thought I was gonna lose my life to abuse. I thought I was gonna lose my life to complications with my health issues, and it's only up from here, baby. So that's why it's magic, you know, like that's why the answer for me has always been magic when I've struggled, you know, like anything I struggle with, I turn to magic, and I don't care anymore. I used to feel guilty for like the types of practices I would do because I was like, oh, am I hurting somebody else? Oh, am I like, you know, like causing somebody else to suffer, blah, blah, blah. Like, did they care about me when they caused me to suffer? Were they thinking about how I would feel when they made their decisions? No. Therefore, they will not have a seat at my table when I decide what's best for me. And I hope that you guys can find the same strength in that, you know? I got close to my favorite musician. He trusted me. I told him I was in love with him 2 years ago, and I ghosted him because I was afraid. Karina. Valid. That is 100% my relationship with my boyfriend right now. Like, I know that might sound weird saying that because I'm like in a relationship with him, but like I like low-key avoid intimacy with this man all the time because I'm afraid. I don't want to be afraid anymore. I don't want to feel like every single time I'm trying to experience the beautiful future that was promised to me, that I chose to create because I didn't want to be trapped in the past. I feel like there's still this like cloud between me and my future because of what these people have done to me. And enough is enough. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure that shit out. And I have. I'm making progress every day. You know, like, and maybe the answer is that I really just haven't casted enough spells about it. Or maybe I haven't written enough books about it. Or maybe I haven't talked enough about it. Maybe it's really just that much. You know, magic helps me cope with the things. Yes, it does, Witchy Jim. I completely relate. Isinator, you are so strong. You are the dragon. Aw, sweetheart. Yeah, but like, you know, like I said, like I didn't want to be. You know, like, I never wanted to be this strong dragon, blah, blah, blah. You know, like, I want it to be soft. I want it to be fragile. I want it to be dainty and cute and sweet and delicate in a corner, just sitting and talking to the world beyond the veil. That's all that I desire in my life. I just want to create. I want to create life. I want to create art. I want to create magic. I don't want to create money. I don't want to create business proposals. I don't want to create contracts or emails. Like, I don't want to do that shit. You know, but like, I also have to survive. Like, we're all like as much as, you know, we've like evolved as a society, like we're still animals on earth, and we like actually, I think, you know, like need to you know, just need to just kind of focus on taking it one step at a time right now, you know. Yeah, you were right about Bob needing to go. Thank you. Thanks for calling that out, Isaneater. What happened? Oh, I'm just talking about I'm sharing some stories that I shouldn't have, mostly just because like I'm bored and I wanted to kind of like just have something to talk about. I shared a little bit about a curse that I did on my ex, the first curse that I've ever done. It was just extreme. Do we move them at the same time? Nice. That's so funny. Nightmare Fuel Studios and I are on the same clock. Okay. Yep, that's what I do, one day at a time. Yeah, no, exactly. So like, you know, I have never shared this. I've talked about this story before, but I've never like shared it in depth like I did just now. That's why Charlie, you know, because like, I think that everybody can learn from the mistakes that I made in that particular experience, because I was so young when I did that curse, and I had no mentorship, and I really didn't know what I was doing, and it was done out of blinded grief, anguish, rage. Like, it was just an emotionally fueled spell, but that's probably why it worked so well. So that's another takeaway I wanted to give you guys from this story time, is that like, never underestimate your spells. Never underestimate the power of the emotions you have when fully surrendered and poured into your spells. It reminds me of something that I heard from the Muslim community, where they say, when you make dua to Allah, you want to be as emotional, put your heart into it as much as possible when you make dua, which is a form of praying, if you didn't know. So that's kind of like something that like I really truly learned when I was doing that curse, is the amount of raw emotion, like just the emotional energy as fuel that I had in that practice was exactly what made it successful. And the person who I mentioned, when I cursed, the previous story that I told where I did the cord cutting, that was someone I did the cord cutting on, and theirs was the one that the whole tray caught fire. So yeah, you know, that whole relationship was giving star-crossed lovers to me. I don't really know how to process that one. I still don't know how to process that one, mostly because like it didn't end in like a definitively horrible way, if that makes sense. It ended so horribly because like his parents shoved medication down his throat when he just needed someone to listen to him and talk to him and connect with him. And that's hard for me to cope with, because like there's nothing I could have done to rectify that situation. There's just nothing I could have done. So yeah. Anyway, it was then and there that I knew I needed to work on myself. I allowed my trauma to turn me into a monster, and I will never be that monster again. Yeah, Karina, I completely agree. You guys should make short films for fun, LOL. Little scripts with friends. Carlin, you're so funny for saying that, because like that's what we're working on for this channel right now. Like, I'm only gonna talk about it because you literally said that. My boyfriend, we just got like a huge, like with our agency, we just got like a huge like film setup that's like ridiculously expensive. Like I'm talking thousands of dollars. Like a rig set up for us to make short films with just with like all the with all of the talent in the agency. We wanted to create like I might not be able to tell you guys this, but I'm going to tell you guys this. If I get in trouble, I'm sorry. But basically we're making like short film series. And then I'll have my own version on the channel here that I'm basically just gonna like, I can't give too much away, but all I'm gonna say is that like it's in the works. We're doing short films on this channel. I don't know when they'll come out on the channel, but we're working on them. And it's basically, I'm telling the story of where I was when I wasn't on camera. So you're gonna absolutely love this. I promise. It's gonna be probably one of the greatest things I've ever done in my life. So I'm just really working on that. And then we've been talking loosely about doing a reality TV show. I don't know if we'll do that, but we're thinking about it. So I know our agency really wants us to do stuff like that. So we'll get there. But anyway, I'm not a pure soul. I'm a soul that had to face their darkness and ugliness straight in the face and change. Yes, Karina, you and me both. This is what I'll say too, you know, like when people say like, oh, like, you know, like I know people mean well when they say things like, oh, you're such a sweet soul, or like you're so pure-hearted, blah, blah, blah. And like, I will also reject these statements too, because I am not pure-hearted. Like I am just a pretty good balance of darkness and light. Why? Because I choose to work with my shadows and I choose to work with my glimmers. Like that's it. You know, like some people will literally ignore parts of themselves, like their shadows, you know, but I think in my personal experience, the more someone ignores their shadows, actually, the more evil they will come off, or the more negative or low vibrational they will come off, right? So people who haven't dealt with like their childhood trauma, they're gonna be a victim to the way that like their coping mechanisms makes them move throughout the world, you know, like it shapes the way you view the world. It shapes the way you move through the world, unless you actively shape your experience into something new, you know? I can relate. I think integrating the shadow is the purest form of kindness. Yes, Petite. I actually agree with you on that one. This is very much in alignment with the law of paradox. You know, like, have you heard the saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions? This is something that I've actually been really studying recently because I found it so interesting, because I've noticed that in my lifetime, when I've like really had the most pure-hearted intentions for people, I tend to hurt people on accident more than not. And I was like, what the fuck? And so then I was like, okay, well, if the path to this is a hot take. If the path to hell is paved with good intentions, does that mean the road to heaven is paved with bad ones? Let me cook. So I was like, wait a second, what does this mean? Like, what is this law of paradox trying to tell me? And so then basically after meditating on it, I came to the conclusion that the opposite of the road to hell is paved with good intentions is like essentially along the lines of the road to heaven is paved with good boundaries that sometimes make you an asshole. So like my intention when I do anything with anyone now is not to be like a good person, right? My intentions are to protect myself. Do you know? I don't know. I can relate. I think, oh yeah, I just said that, yeah. I like that a lot better, lol. Yeah, honestly, it works for me. Azizi, welcome. Oh wait, I don't know why I'm here. Hello, everyone. Oh, hey, hi, hello, welcome. Back, or welcome to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. If you are new here, hey, hi, hello. I make videos about dragons and witchcraft and music. And if you're interested in those topics, please hit subscribe. Let's see. Good intention is sometimes better than actions in God's eye. Yeah, I could see that. But here's the thing. In the real world, it doesn't really matter what you intend. It's always going to be your impact. It's always going to matter what your impact is over your intention. Because I could have the most noble of intentions to help somebody, right? And then if I fail short on those intentions, my real world consequences for that could actually cost the family their lives, or could actually cost the family, you know, their health, or like extra resources that they could have had I not been involved. Does that make sense? So like, yes, my intentions might be in the right place to help said family or whatever, but it's like, if I fall through on those intentions, then my impact is actually going to be bad. It's like, have you heard the saying under promise and over deliver? I think that's the same situation can be applied with your intentions. Like, your intentions should be kind of like lackluster and like not at the, like, again, a hot take, should not be the like top of the creme de la creme of what should matter for you. Like, no, like, your impact should be the most important thing. Like, your intentions should align with the end result. It's just like manifestation, right? Like, live your life from the end, right? Like, so I have the ideal who I am in my head, and now I'm just living my life to get there, right? So like, it's the same thing with this, you know, like, I want to have X, Y, and Z happen in my life. Now I have to intend to take actions that'll help me get there. And sometimes the intentions that you have to have in order to take the correct actions, or the actions that would have the desired effect or the intended effect on reality, sometimes the intentions might seem questionable if you wrote them on paper. You know what I mean? I don't know exactly what my spirit team has been teaching me this year. Honestly, yeah. Does your witchcraft include black magic or demons? I'm curious about you. Yes, it does. I was just talking about how I casted a curse on one of my exes and how it like backfired, but was a really good lesson. And then I do work with demons as well, but I mostly work with dragons. Like, I'm a draconic witch, so that means, you know how some people like work with demons or angels or god or goddesses or whatever? I just work with dragons for the most part. Channel the yin and yang within you. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's really just kind of like, what's it called? You know, I just really try to like work with as much energy. Like, I work with everything that I resonate with. You know what I mean? And I keep everything that like I don't resonate with very far out of my space. Because like I have a very, very, what's it called? A very sensitive mind. I'm very easily, what's the word? Influenced or emotionally triggered. So I have to really like put my mental health as the top priority with a lot of what I do. And so that's why with my spiritual practice, it's all based around what regulates my nervous system. Like, I am not going to practice something in my spirituality if it doesn't help regulate my nervous system. I will not practice something in my spirituality if it actively stresses me out or sends my nervous system into like just dysregulation, you know? So like, when I was at the church, going to like Christian church dysregulated my nervous system. I did not feel safe there. I did not feel God there. I did not feel holy there, period. Nope. But then the second that I went out into nature and I started to worship God in nature, yeah, that worked really well for me. So that's why I'll say nature is my church. But then also, it just really depends, you know? I'm always working with new entities. I'm sometimes, you know, some come and go as they please. Some will never let me know who they are. They just kind of wander. Inner alchemy is so powerful. Yes, that is one of the main focuses of my practice these days. Thanks to Pickle Chips. Pickle Chips is my #1 teacher of alchemy currently. Let's see. I believe in spirits and that they can form and reform, but they don't have the full power of the heaven and the earth. I'm Muslim, by the way. Nice to meet you, sis. Oh, hey. We actually love Islam on this channel. We talk about Islam and read the Quran a lot here, so I hope that you would be interested in sticking around. But yeah, so, you know, that's kind of the fun of it, you know, like here on the channel. We love having everybody from all religious beliefs, backgrounds, cultures, etc. You know, as long as you're not forcing your perspective down anyone else's throat, claiming that your way is the only way or that everything else is evil, you have a seat at the table here. You know what I mean? Freedom to information. Exactly. I've been working with Hecate more lately. Me too, Witchy Gem. I love Hecate. We really need to be careful with our free to information nowadays. Yes. So I know a lot of people will say knowledge is power, but it's really not. Knowledge is potential power. You have to like act on that shit in order for it to like make you powerful. And like, especially in an age where like entertainment has turned into like information type of thing. Like, we live in an information war right now too, by the way. Like, we're going through like like the world stage is like battling over a certain type of narrative right now, and so like all of like the media is going to be tailored towards like facilitating that, which is just exhausting. But like, which is why I'll tell you all the time, like, doesn't matter who you're watching, like, please consume that content with like the most skeptical like lens as possible. Like, even me, you know, like I try to come as like, you know, educated and like all the resources that I possibly can, but like I'm still a human, you guys. I can make mistakes, like I can misspeak, like I am a human being, like I am not a robot. Like I sometimes, you know, take medication and like sometimes my brain works differently on my medication, you know, like there's room for error here. So like please just like know that even with like the most like knowledgeable, reputable sources, if they're coming from a human being, which they should be, then there's room for error. So just remember that. What do you have any question on Islam? Oh, I don't have any questions on Islam. I actually really love Islam. I like reading. I actually have like mad stacks of Qurans over there because I read the Quran so much. I'm still a stranger to you, but I grew up with you in a way. Yeah, Karina, like I feel the same way about you though, because like a lot of you guys here have like, I've recognized your name on my channel for like a decade plus, you know what I mean? Like I like have grown up with you guys too, even though we're like kind of strangers, kind of not, you know? I don't believe that Jesus is the son of God. Yeah, same, Wicked Mohan. I believe that Jesus was a prophet of God, and reading the Quran actually helped me come to that conclusion. So I really don't have like many questions about the Quran. I really don't, honestly. I mean, like I was raised Mormon, so like I've always had a belief in God, and like I even have a video on this channel where I'm like, I'm a witch who loves God, or I'm a witch who believes in God. And like my love for God like never really left me, you know what I mean? Like I just like have had so much religious trauma, especially at the hands of men and books, religious books, that I've taken my relationship with God into my own hands, if you know what I mean. So like I will choose how I worship God, and that's cool. You know, like if people want to use like a set guide to do that, that's cool. You know, like if people want to like use a book to help them, that's amazing. Like if people want to use like meditation or whatever, you know, that's cool. That's fine. That's great. You know what I mean? But me, I like to go into nature and find God in the trees. I really do. My guides literally made me go to therapy. They take it serious. Yeah, no, honestly. My guardians told me not to go to therapy, but they told me to read a lot of books about just like psychology, about like the human body, about relationships, about trauma, about like just being a woman in today's society, all that kind of thing. So why don't you follow then if you feel is the truth? You know what God says about witchcraft. Dude, are we gonna have this conversation right now? Are you gonna shame me for practicing witchcraft right now? Because that's when the Muslims lose me. I learned about attachment styles from them. That's amazing. Nature's my church. Yeah, I have a bumper sticker of that. Nature's my church. Love it. Will always be my motto. Will always be my motto. What's your favorite witch story you've read? That's interesting stuff. So what do you mean by witch story? Like a story about a witch, or like a story about like my witchcraft? like I don't know. I don't know what you mean, brother. I don't know. I don't know what you mean. Side note, I have read the Quran, and I choose to go off of what's written most in that book. And what's written most in the Quran, more than anything else about witchcraft, is that Allah is the most merciful. Holla at Allah for being the most merciful. He's the real MVP. Second, only Allah can judge me, right? Third, the Quran also states that people who don't subscribe to Islamic monotheism can also make it into heaven. So there's that. Also, Allah says that He, again, is the only one who can decide who goes to Jannah or not. Because magic is not just a hobby. It's a mix of delusion and can hurt people. You know it, sister. No, I just don't know it, sister. Witchcraft has been the best thing for my whole life, man. Like, my dragon guardians told me to read the Quran. Like, if you like, my dragon guardians read the Quran with me. Like, do you understand that, like, when I worship God, I worship with my spirit team? Like, I don't think people get this. You know what I mean? Like, witchcraft saved me. You know what I mean? This is why, like, like, even the Quran, as much as I love it, like, I'm not gonna live my life by it, because, like, you know, and the same goes for the Bible, right? Like, there's still some really, like intense language in there that's very fear-based, that's very hatred-based, and, like, my nervous system doesn't respond well to that. Like, I just don't find God there. God doesn't exist in hatred. Like, at least the God that I know, I don't find God in hatred. I literally find the devil in hatred. So do you know what a tulpa is? Yes, I work with tulpas, like, from history and leads. Yes. But here's the thing, you know, like, at the end of the day, like, I've said it before, but, like, even two Muslims aren't gonna practice Islam the same way. Like, just like two different witches aren't gonna practice witchcraft the same way. Just like two Christians aren't gonna practice witchcraft the same way. You know, witchcraft and Norse paganism saved me from addiction and religious abuse. Same. Like, I was getting, like, actually, like, abused in my church when I was questioning, what about a goddess? And I was like, how is Jesus God when he was a human who was born? And how is Jesus God when he was on the cross and said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do? Who was he referencing? My favorite quote about witchcraft is from The Love Witch, 2016. Do you know what the quote is? Because I don't know what that is. What is The Love Witch? From Love Witch? Is that a creator or a movie? I'm sorry. My fairy guide, Naelia, oh man, I hope I said that right, wants me to leave because my presence will only add darkness to this discussion, but she blesses everyone in here and gives me her consent to share her name. Oh, okay, Karina. Well, hope you know you're always welcome here, darkness and all. Sorry, it's a film. Oh, no, that's okay. That's okay, yeah. No, that's fine. Can you guys hear the recording studio in the background? Oh my god. I learned about attachment styles from them. Oh yeah, dude, I love attachment style work. That's something else that really helped me recover from, like, the betrayal trauma that I had, was, like, working on my attachment style, and, like, how I realized I was, like, anxiously attached to my boyfriend, and he was, like, avoidantly attached because of, like, his, like, family history. And, like, so the more that I work on being, like, securely attached within myself, the more that he just comes out of his shell and he's not so avoidant anymore. And it's really wild how that works, you know? Like, that's the thing, you know? This man works so much, like, my boyfriend works so much, he's constantly on his phone, but, like, I've never had a healthy relationship before, so when I see him constantly on his phone, my traumatized brain wants to say, he's cheating on you, he's cheating on you, he's cheating on you, go through his messages, he's talking to all these girls, and I'm just like, relax, I want to breathe, I want to enjoy my time, shut the hell up, you know? And so, like, it took me a long time to realize that, like, he's just a very wealthy businessman who knows what he's doing, like, and when you're a wealthy businessman who knows what he's doing, you're doing everything you can to take care of your clients, to take care of your jobs, to take care of your people, you know? Like, he's just making sure that everybody is taken care of. And it took me so long to get that. You know, because, like, I've never seen a man do that. I've never seen a man put his purpose for caring for his community and uplifting his people above anything else. And you know what? I'm gonna tell you a secret about women. Not all women, but some women. There are some women like me out in the world that when we find a man that we truly love, it's because he does something that inspires us. It's because that this man does something that feels greater than we are. I'm only speaking for the type of woman that I am. And low key, and I would never ever want you guys to tell him this, but if it came to a decision between him living his purpose that God gave him, or being with me, if he had to choose, I would hope he'd choose his purpose. But I pray that his purpose includes me by his side. You know? Because all the relationships I've been in before him, I was their world. Their whole life revolved around me. They had no other purpose. It's like I was what held them to the earth, not their purpose, and being in a relationship with a man who has priorities outside of me, but like not in a way that's like degrading to me. No, it's just like his job, like it's what he does for his people, you know what I mean? And it's just like having that kind of a man by my side, of course I'm gonna get triggered all the time. I have no idea what I'm dealing with half the time, and his behavior is going to trigger me. Why? Because like I have so many wounds that I don't know yet. Like I still don't know all the wounds, and I don't know the wounds until sometimes he triggers them. And it's honestly really beautiful because like we trigger each other and then we help each other grow. Like, and that's all you can do in this world. You know, one thing that reading the Quran taught me is how sacred and special and precious each single moment we have is. You know, the Quran basically said that like we're here for a good time, not for a long time, and Allah will take us whenever he wants. You know, whether you believe in a God or whether you believe in the universe or whatever you choose to believe in, you know, like either way, your time is limited here. And like I would rather spend my limited time here talking about different perspectives that you guys have about the world beyond ours, about the unseen, about all of these things, instead of debating with each other about who's right. That's just no fun for me. I don't want to debate about who's right. I don't give a shit who's right. I just want to see how creative you guys are. Like, I just want to see how beautiful your experiences have been. Like, I just want to share mine with you, and like maybe me sharing my experiences will inspire you guys to share yours, and then that's how we connect and create a family together. We do not connect and create a family together when we ask people, you know what the Quran says about witchcraft, right? Like, shut the actual fuck up, okay? Because like we are all different. If God wanted us any other way, we would have been. And today we are so diverse. No two people are the same, even if they identify the same. That's the beauty of this world. Why? Because that's how we get to experience every single possibility. God, us. We are God in millions, billions of perspectives. We all have a tiny little slice of God within us. We do. That's what our soul is. You know, like you might not believe that's God. You don't have to call it God. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying, like, for argument's sake, right? Like, it's so much fun to start looking in other places and learning things that might challenge your beliefs. Do you know how uncomfortable it was for me to read the Quran with the way it talks about witchcraft? But I still do it. Because I'm still learning good things in there. Like, it's not like a bad thing. Like, do you want to like, did we completely forget that Islamic mysticism exists? I'll wait. Like, did we forget Gnostic Christians exist? Like, I'll wait. I'll wait. You know, like, there's so many overlap with everything. Like, you know, there's more Muslims practicing witchcraft than you would freaking even believe. Like, trust. Like, we're all more similar than you could understand, and like that's why I have my channel. You know, like I know I started my channel wanting to see if magic was real, and by Garn, I fucking figured it out. It is real, and I used it to make my dream life come true. And now that I'm here, I just want to learn more about everybody else's beliefs and opinions, because 9 times out of 10 when I learn about other people's beliefs and opinions, I find a little slice of magic in it. And you know what? That shit makes me so happy to be alive. It makes me so excited, and it makes me want to just jump on the channel and share it with you guys. Like, oh my gosh, did you guys hear this? Blah blah blah. Like, I get so excited. Like, for example, have you guys heard about Mary Magdalene? Did you know Mary Magdalene was like essentially the divine counterpart to Jesus Christ? But no one's gonna tell you that. Like, no one's gonna tell you that. I think Mary Magdalene was also a prophet of God. Yeah, I do. But no one's gonna tell you that because women can't be prophet of gods. Do you know what I mean? Like, how do you manifest tulpa spirits? I might have to make an entire video about tulpas, not gonna lie to you, because this is just probably not the video to go into that one. But Pearl's music, I will write some stuff down. I haven't watched your videos in so long. Oh my goodness, but you popped up randomly on my feed. Nice to see you again. And refreshing to hear someone talk about this so open-mindedly. Yay, the Magic Crafter. So good to see you. And welcome back to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. Yeah, dude, like I just like literally, no one can hate on me. Like, it's impossible to hate on me. Why? Because I just don't like accept the hate. Like, I don't see it as hate, right? So like, I'm just gonna be like, my friend, please just talk to me. You know, like just hang out in the chat. Like, dude, you know, like The biggest red flag that someone's insecure about their own beliefs is when they start like vehemently asserting their beliefs in the comment section, okay? So like when people say like Jesus loves you, like you're a sinner, blah blah blah, like they're just like nervous that they could be wrong. Like because like people who like are grounded in their faith don't feel the need to go brag about it. It's true. It's true. When people discover the truth for themselves, 9 times out of 10, they're probably not going to tell most people about that. Like, sure, it might be a little bit different in today's day and age because we have technology, but like I've said many times before, like the witches who are really doing shit, like probably aren't posting about it. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. Like I am a real witch. Like I do a lot of real shit, and I am a very advanced practitioner now because I've been practicing for almost 2 decades. But like, I'm not going to tell you I'm the best witch on the planet. No, I don't know that. You know, but cheers, man. Like, witchcraft is the shit, and so is the Quran. Like, why can't they all be awesome? Cheers to everybody's religion. Can we do that? Is that okay? Can we breathe? Cheers to Christians, Muslims, Jews. Yeah. Cheers to witches, Buddhists, and what's another one? People who practice Santeria. Do you know what I mean? Like, how hard was that? How hard was that? I just love you guys. Like, I love you guys so much that even your wacky beliefs, like, I'm not gonna judge you for them. I haven't seen you play the ukulele, and I always enjoy those videos. I almost just ruined my whole life. Cheers from a Catholic. Yes, here, Archdragon. Cheers to our Catholics. Okay, my ukulele is in my closet right now. But Wicked Mohan, fun fact, if you didn't hear me earlier today, I did mention that I have a studio session booked for the 11th this month. So, and we'll be doing the ukulele covers again. I'm excited, but we're gonna be doing it in shorts. My agency is telling me to do more shorts. They're like, Azura, we know you got famous doing your like main videos or whatever. Okay, but we need you to post shorts now. It's so funny. They're like, Azura, please post shorts. It's so funny. I'm just like, no, I don't want to. I want to go live with my hatchlings. Fuck you people. I'm just, my agency and I, we troll each other. It's fun. I wanted to ask your opinion on the divine counterpart thing. People seem to be increasingly interested in twin flame, I guess. Some people make distinctions. Wag's tail, cheers. Yay! So I was saying, like, from some of the, like, the more that I dive deep into the Mary Magdalene, Jesus Christ situation, the more that I'm coming to terms with the fact that it's very possible that Mary Magdalene awakened first and Jesus Christ took her place to protect her. Most people know her as a whore or a harlot when she really was not. She was just a high priestess of the Temple of Isis and a master of sex magic. And she practiced that shit with Jesus Christ, and that's how they reached enlightenment. They were practicing tantric sex? Like, what are you talking about? Like, nobody wants to know that side of the Bible. Like, nobody wants to know that side. Cheers from a Venusian witch. Hell yeah. Cheers to the Venusian witch. Okay. Do you know what I mean? Cheers from an eclectic pagan. Hell yeah. Do short videos about Mary Magdalene. Yes, Wicked Mohan. I think you might be right about that. But yeah, dude, like, so, like, I've just been, like, going down all of these, like oppressed, powerful women, like, especially in, like, the Bible. So I've been surprised. One of them almost has my name. Her name is Asherah. I think she's, like, literally the god, like, the godmother. Like the mother of God or something like that. I'm still learning, so I'm not saying don't listen to me, but I am saying I do know the names. Mary Magdalene is one of them. Lilith is another one. Asherah, like I said, Sophia. We're just doing a lot. Have you read the book Abramelin? No, I have not. What is it about? Do you practice ceremonial magic or a different system? Crossbow gaming. Thank you for joining live. I practice multiple kinds of magic, so it really just depends. So to answer your question, technically yes to both. I practice ceremonial magic, I do, but I also practice other systems of magic, like practical magic, meditative magic, alchemy, a lot of different things, right? Um, but like I do identify as a draconic witch, but my practice is genuinely like super eclectic, just because like I practice what helps regulate my nervous system. That's really what my spiritual practice has come to, because like therapy is expensive, but like spirituality is free. So so I'm like literally just trying to do my best out here. So I hope that helps. The author is Jack Angelo. Okay, that would be interesting. I would definitely love to learn about that, because I'm not too sure. I really recommend The Healing Wisdom of Mary Magdalene. Yeah, dude. I've also been reading the Apocrypha. I'm like, see, there's just so many things that I'm like still reading. Like, I'm also reading the Kabbalion still too. But like, all of these texts that I'm reading, like, I am genuinely only reading them because my dragon guardians told me to. When people hear me say that, they think I'm batshit crazy, or they think I'm lying, and I'm like, dude, I'm just a girl who follows her dragons, and my dragons told me to read this shit. Like, what else do you want me to say? Like, what else do you want me to say? They want me to be like, oh, this girl just found it on TikTok. No. No, my dragon guardians, I talk to them all the time. Family. What? Like, some people feel like they talk to Jesus all the time. How is that any different? Like, I'm not trying to like invalidate your practice. Like, why are you invalidating mine, brother? Just because mine looks like this? Just because who I'm talking to looks like this, or like this, or like this, or like this? Like, then it's a problem? How does that make sense? Tell me how that makes sense. Make it make sense. Would you participate in Hero Scamos? What is that? I don't know what that is. I don't know how to reply, but that's wonderful. What sort of energies do they work with? Oh, that was not a question for me. Who is Tinkerbell talking about? One of my besties is a Venusian practitioner. Yeah, I don't really know what Venusian practices are, so that would be interesting to learn. I talk to my ancestors all the time. See, exactly, I do the same thing. I was doing middle pillar meditation only for a while sometimes. Later heard that doing it can attract negative entities. Should I continue? This might be a hot take, but like, I'm very much somebody who believes in you create your own reality, especially in terms of the spiritual world. And like, when I work with my dragons, like, I don't ever have issues like that. The only negativity that I attract into my life is the negativity of my own making. Usually on accident. Usually on accident, okay? But if you are nervous, just, you know, do some good spiritual hygiene. Like, before you like actually start practicing things super hardcore, like rituals and spells and stuff, develop like a spiritual hygiene for yourself. What does that mean? Like, what do your protective, like regular protective practices look like? Do you have a daily practice? Like, do you meditate every day? Do you talk to your ancestors every day? Do you work with an altar? Do you do these things? Like, that's what it means to like have a daily practice. And like, I really wasn't able to like truly feel confident with like my other types of spells until I got really down pat my like daily ritual that I use. Not necessarily daily ritual, but like just like my daily spiritual hygiene. You know what I mean? Have you seen the movie The Secret? And do you believe in that kind of magic? I have not seen the movie The Secret. I have the book. I believe it's based off of the law of attraction. And yes, I do believe in that. But I do feel like it's a very watered down version of it, if that makes sense. I do what my gods and goddesses tell me to do. Or my spirit that I work with. Yeah, exactly, Wicked Mohan. I'm very much the same. Yeah, I was scared of manifesting my own negativity. That's why I stopped. Yeah, dude, like if you're too scared of manifesting your own negativity, then stopping was a good choice. Because like when you work with certain types of magic, you have to be fearless, man. You like literally have to have the mentality that nothing can go wrong. Like especially when you get to the more arcane, like advanced magics, like some of the stuff that Pickle Chips like has me do, like Pickle Chips literally will tell me, don't even bother if you have any doubts. Like, I don't want you to do this if you don't feel like you are good enough, because you are correct. You are not good enough if you do not believe you are, period. I'm like, damn, Pickle Chips, what a reading with that. Pickle Chips hurts, guys. Really bad. For those of you guys who are in the chat who don't know who Pickle Chips is, it is a celestial dragon that I work with that refuses to be referred to any other way besides pickle chips here on the channel. Side note, do not offer pickle chips pickle chips. Pickle chips disdains pickle chips. But pickle chips told me that the hatchlings, and I quote, would see pickle chips as more relatable, less scary, and easier to understand if we refer to them as pickle chips, unquote. So when I say pickle chips, I'm talking about like one of the main dragons that I work with. I cleanse my third eye before I go to work because I lost your message. Where'd it go? I'm sorry, I lost your message. Oh, there we go. Because I pick up a lot of energy in my customer service job. Yeah, no, honestly, I completely agree. Yes, it is watered down. It absolutely is. Well, he is Hellenistic, Celtic Irish with some Norse energies mainly. I am pretty strong Celtic with some history with Odin as well. And among other eclectic things. I'm pretty sure Odin is Norse mythology, right? Is Norse considered Celtic, you guys? Wait a second. Wait a second. Is my whole world being thrown upside down right now? I thought Norse was like its own thing. Is like Norse considered Celtic? Yes? Wow, I know so many things and yet I know nothing. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. I wonder if I have Norse heritage then, because like my mom and dad pretty much tell me that I'm a Celtic mutt. Norse isn't Celtic, yes. Oh, Norse is Germanic. Thank you. I knew I wasn't crazy, okay? Oh my god. Oh my gosh. It seems like even the chat is confused. Oh gosh. That's really cool. I like to work with the planet of Venus as well as the goddess. Oh, that's beautiful. Norse and Celtic are related but different. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you guys are, man, you guys. See, you guys are reminding me that I need to brush up on my Norse mythology because like pickle chips even referenced Norse mythology when they told me that the earth was flat and round. I don't believe anything. I just like talking about possibilities. I don't even know if we're real. That's how much I don't believe in anything. So, I believe in magic and dragons and music, period. I stopped manifesting because of don't knowing what I want is good for myself. Yeah, see that makes sense, man. Crossbow Gaming TR, I support that decision. You know what I mean? It seems like a logical one. You know what I mean? Life is really simple. It's you have 2 tasks while you're here, okay? First, you gotta decide what the hell you want, okay? And then you gotta let yourself have it. And so many people fail at deciding what they want, and then even more fail at deciding how they're gonna let themselves have it. So, I digress. Not knowing the outcome made me stop practicing magic. No, that's fair. You know, like, witchcraft is not for everybody. You know what I mean? Like, but for me, that's like, I'm maybe kind of an adrenaline junkie in the sense that I'm like, the thrill of not knowing makes me have to keep trying. I cannot stop. And then when I do cast a spell and it works, the way that feels so good. Hi, sounds like I dropped in at a good time. Your surname is Danish. Yes, you have Nordic blood in you. Oh, Dad, no way. My dad is blowing my mind all the time with this like family history. Leave a like on the live stream for Dragonfather in the chat. Wow, Dad, I had no idea. I had no idea. You know what this feels like? This literally feels like the same time you told me that I had a great-grandmother who was Welsh who sold tarot readings. Every single time you tell me something about my family history, Dad, I literally just have to like sit in silence for like sometimes a day or two because it literally just messes with me. I'm gonna have to share this stream with my bestie. Yes, bring the bestie here. We want to have them here. But yeah. So yeah. You know, like, what are the odds? What are the odds of me asking you guys if Celtic is Norse or if Norse is Celtic? And then my dad's just like, surprise, you have Norse blood. Okay, Dad. Okay. Man, I miss magic. See, then maybe that's why you found the channel, Crossbow Gaming TR, because maybe the magic was missing you. Ever think about that? Do you ever think about that, Crossbow? maybe the magic misses you, brother. Maybe it's not the same without you. Maybe all of us witches will always be missing a piece of our magic if you forget yours. You never know. I don't know anything. I don't know how this world works. I just know everything's connected in some weird way, okay? That's it. I believe in magic of life and happiness and how it manifests in my life. Exactly. You know, I have the belief system that everything happens for good. Hot take, even the shitty stuff, if you look close enough, well, there will be good shit there. There will be. You might not want to look close enough because it's hard. You know? My family name is Swedish. I really want to go to Sweden. I need to go to Sweden. I need to go to Denmark. I need to go to Iceland. I need to go to Wales. I need to go to Ireland. I need to go to Scotland. I would love to go to Scandinavia. I would love to go to New Zealand. I have to go to Palestine. I have to go to Saudi Arabia. I have to go to I really want to go to Pakistan. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I really want to go to India. I want to go to Thailand. I want to go to Japan. I want to go to so many places. Help! Help! Can you say? I cannot say. Sorry, soft kitty. With the name of this live stream, I was afraid to join. And now that it's okay. I was just basically talking about some like magic that I did in the past that like backfired. And then I talked about how like certain things that I changed in like my own internal like mentality has like completely changed the way that like people treat me in like Hollywood, like on the red carpets and at these events and stuff. And then I talked a little bit about relationships too. So yeah. Okay, sorry, have a nice day. You soft kitty, please don't go. I didn't mean to make you scared or sad. Should I try to say what they want me to say? Okay. Soft kitty, this is for you. Okay. I think it says Bruhuva. Did you make me cuss? Please don't make me cuss in a different language. Now I want to get back to my spiritual side after you. Oh, Crossbow Gaming. Well, you're always welcome here for your daily dose of Dragon Feather. The hatchlings will be here for you as well. We're more of a family than anything, okay? My whole channel, our slogan here is called Geeky, Cheeky, and Freaky Little Hatchlings. I call my viewers hatchlings because we are all misfits and weird in our own way. The only place we fit is together. So welcome. I hope you'll choose to subscribe. I'm moving next year to Australia to start a pearl farm. Dude, I could literally, you wanna know what's proof that magic exists? Pearls. Do you even know how that shit is made? It's like in the mouth of something, it just decides to swish its little mouth around with some sand and you get these beautiful little gems from a creature. Yeah, pearls are insane. If you want to, all those places, it would definitely change you in your views of the world. Oh, I know it would. Yeah, Dad, I know it would. I mean, I've already been to Canada, and that totally changed my world. And Canada is Canada. Like, it's not even that different than America. Like, you don't even know. I was staying in Brampton, Ontario, Canada for a while. Shout out to all my Canadians in the chat. And I was beside myself by how much culture I saw there. Like, I thought America was a melting pot. No. The amount of people who I saw, like, either dressed in hijabs or, like, other cultural, like, clothing, like, in Canada, like, 9 times out of 10, I was gonna have, like, a hijabi taking my order where I went. I was like, what? Like, I've never seen, like, just so many Muslims in the wild. I was like, oh my gosh, my life is a lie. My life is a lie. You guys aren't rare at all. You guys are like actually common Pokemon out here. Like my country wants you guys to be rare Pokemon, but they are wrong. They are wrong. And then I saw a Hindu temple for the first time in Canada. Never seen anything like that in America. I've never seen a masjid, okay, or a mosque. I never saw anything like that in America. Had to go visit one in Canada because I just did not know. Never seen. Shout out to ISNA. You guys are awesome up in Canada. So caterpillars, am I right? What the hell are you talking about? Just got called to do something by Archangel Michael kind of immediately. Was nice chatting. Hope to see y'all soon. Oh, thanks, Petite. I hope that goes great. Grand Canyon, Ethan Hollander. Do you guys think there's aliens in the Grand Canyon? You guys think there's pyramids in the Grand Canyon? Do you think there's dragons in the Grand Canyon? Do you think aliens are dragons? I might have to make a whole stream about that, actually. Fun fact, my dad is actually the one who made me consider that conspiracy theory. Yeah. Yeah. My dad once told me, shout out to my dad in the chat. He once told me that the ancient sky, like, because we didn't have light pollution, was like basically full of plasma filaments. Like you could see the nebulas, and the like way that nebulas looked in the sky, like without light pollution, probably looked a lot like dragons in the sky. So that's why we see dragons in like mythology all around the world, because like we all, I don't know, share the same sky. And maybe that's why we have dragon mythology, is just because in ancient times we didn't have light pollution and the ancient sky looked beautiful like dragons were there. Who knows? Who knows? Canada was nothing like that when I was there back in the 1990s. I did work in Ottawa and went to Montreal. Oh, interesting. I think Brampton specifically, Dad, is like more culturally Muslim. There's a lot of Sikh people there too. And then there is a lot of like Hindu people there as well. That was like demographically like the majority of people in Brampton. But like when I went to Toronto, like actual Toronto, like I still saw a lot of like people like that, but it was like more like, I saw like more white people, I guess you could say. But like I also stayed a little bit in like just other parts of Ontario too. Brampton has Hell Indians specifically. Yeah, Jericho, thank you. But that's kind of like, I think why I really loved it too, because like when I was growing up, I always thought that like Indian women and like Arabian women were like the most beautiful like women ever. Like I've always felt that way. Like trust, they just are, like no contest. And like I've just always been like admired like the saris growing up and like the hijabs like growing up. I was always like, wow. Like when I was a little kid, I was like, wow. Like I was so interested. So then to actually see that in person like so much, like I was just like a little, like I was just so happy to be there. I was like, wow, I hate America. Like it was so funny. I was like, don't bring me home. It's so funny. Yes, there are caves in the Grand Canyon with Egyptian-like artifacts. Oh, Dad, have you heard that ancient Egypt is America? Have you heard of that? Shout out to my dad. We talk about conspiracy theories all the time. I would probably not be a conspiracy theorist if it wasn't for my dad, but trust, he has some really good ones. It would be really fun to share like the conspiracy theories my dad is like shared with me, because some of them are really scary. So like if you're not down for a spooky time, maybe I'll share them in Halloween. I like Nordic women. Me too. Apparently I'm one of them. Thanks, Dad, for letting me know. I had no idea. I also was Muslim. I'm from Turkey. Oh, awesome. Well, that's so amazing. It's so awesome to have you here. I would honestly love to go to Turkey too. I've heard the food there is to die for. On the topic of aliens, I wonder if extraterrestrial beings are actually just extra dimensional beings. I'm pretty sure they are. Like, there is this, what is the show called? I watched this really stupid show. I'm not gonna actually say the name out of respect to indigenous cultural practices, but let's just say the word starts with an S and ends with an Ocker, and the way the show was called like S Ocker Ranch. Okay, I'm not gonna say the actual word. You're not supposed to say the word according to indigenous people, so I'm gonna respect what they advise me to do. That video, when I watched that video, they had a Jewish rabbi, come and like recite, I don't know if it was from the Torah that they recited things, but they were basically reciting things in Hebrew when they had like some like paranormal stuff happen or whatever. And like it just was really fascinating the way that like the chanting of this like person with their religious text like was actually like creating like changes in the like technology that they use to like read paranormal stuff. I really love that kind of thing, okay? Like I feel like that's where like science and spirituality like cross over hella, but I feel like a lot of people go into it with such a skeptical mind that they kind of like lose respect for the spiritual aspect of it, which is why I don't really like watching a lot of that content, because like I feel like a lot of people do it for views. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I watched that show. Yeah. So like a lot of people will do that, like will do that kind of like content or whatever. They'll like explore graveyards, or they'll like go ghost hunting, and I just don't really think that's respectful. I'm sorry, I just think that's rude. I think that like if I was a ghost, I would not want to be hunted. Excuse me, I'm already dead, leave me alone. So like that's why whenever I go to places, like it kind of creeps my boyfriend out sometimes, but like don't take me to a hospital. I'll see dead people like almost the whole time. Like it's really hard for me to be in a hospital, mostly because it doesn't matter what practice I do to protect myself, like I pick something up. You know what I mean? Like every time I get home from a hospital in particular, I have to do many cleansing rituals, many protection rituals, and then banishing to top it all off, because it's just too much. It's just too much spiritual juju shit, okay? Fuck that shit. I don't want to bring anything home. I don't. I have. It sucks. I don't anymore because I know what to do, right? But like I have a lot of memories as a child where I brought some things home. Do you have ADHD? I don't know, but I suspect I have autism. I wouldn't be surprised if I have ADHD, like ADHD autism. I also have DID. Self-diagnosed, because the job that I have, I really got to be careful with what diagnoses I get, or it could affect my job. So isn't that fun? Isn't that fun? Watermelon, you can be whatever. Wicca is very free form, not exclusive. Yes. Do you have to be Wiccan pagan to celebrate Samhain? No. So surprise, Samhain is actually the Celtic New Year, like the Celtic witches' New Year. It's technically an Irish holiday or a Celtic holiday. And so all of the like holidays in the Wiccan all of the holidays in the Wiccan Wheel of the Year kind of come from different like religions and like cultural practices. I've found they kind of just are a little different. So you can be whoever you want. Like I am literally a full believer that somebody could be a Muslim and a Wiccan. I know that might be a hot take. I really don't think it should be. I don't know why it's a hot take, but you could be whoever you want. You know what I mean? Like I just don't really think anyone should ever have the right to define somebody. Who do you think you are, brother? God? Because you're not. Surprise. Last time I checked, if I stabbed you, you'd bleed. God doesn't do that, okay? God doesn't bleed when you stab him, okay? You can't stab God. That's my whole point. I have heard about Egypt artifacts being all over the world. No one is allowed to go to the caves in the Grand Canyon anymore. Also, I never heard about ancient Egypt being in Americas. The Egyptians claim they came from Atlantis as survivors. I've heard that as well. But basically, I've heard that our map is completely like flipped upside down, wonky, and like it's totally out of proportion to make the United States look way bigger than it actually is. Because like Africa is made to look like much smaller than it actually is. But like there's also some like indigenous lore that I've read that like points to like tunnel systems being all throughout the planet, and that like you can go through the tunnel systems to like get to like any point on the planet. They're essentially like some sort of vertices. I'm gonna have to brush up on that knowledge and come back to you guys with that one, because it's there's a lot of worms to unpack in that one, but I think it would be really fun to just do a deep dive of the most ridiculous things we can find on the internet in terms with like spirituality. I think it would be fun. My family has just always been harassed by spirits and the like. Yeah, I would have to argue same. I'm sure even my dad would let you know some really scary stories in the comments. ADHD homies, hell yeah, Dragon Pharaohs, you know it. You know it. I heard a story about an Egyptian artifact being found in America, but it's believed to have been brought here by the Knights Templar. I need to look more into that story. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised, Nightmare. The Knights Templar, I literally will not be surprised by anything anyone accuses them of, because they were literally batshit, okay? They were batshit crazy. So it's very possible. There's a connection between neurodivergent people and spirituality that is seen so many times. I have ADHD. Yeah, if you want to ask my personal perspective, I think people who have mental illnesses are just highly evolved in the sense that like we see through the bullshit of the current paradigm. Like we are people who are more supposed to be specialized in our special interests. We have so much brain activity going on. We're supposed to be sleeping most of the time and only show up when our services are needed, essentially, because like otherwise we burn out and we want to kill ourselves. It's true. Most of us are awake at the night to keep people safe. Most of us are hyper vigilant because we want to make sure that there's no threat to our tribe. Like we're just not, what's it called? Clearly the environment we live in, you know, with the technology and shit, it's all artificial, right? Like we literally have a thing called artificial intelligence now. Like everything is artificial. If you didn't know, if you needed proof, just fall down the artificial intelligence rabbit hole and get back to me. Okay, so in today's day and age, like our just reality is like built on productivity. It's built around capitalism and colonialism and imperial powers. And because of that, like people like me who want to sit and be in touch with our intuition and receive messages from beyond the veil to basically help people elevate and evolve themselves, that's frowned upon. Unless I can monetize it. So I'm trying to do the best that I can to do it. Insert the witchy community. honestly, pretty much same. Pearl's music. I think it's fascinating for Atlantis searchers finding actual sunken archaeology. Yeah, no, honestly, it's really interesting. My TV just started screaming in the background. I would get up, but I don't feel like it, so. Anyway. Solstice and equinox can be good alternate celebrations if you want to simplify practices. Interesting. There is a connection between neurodivergent people. Oh, I read that. I read it. I heard a story about an Egyptian artifact. Wow, it's like I've already read all your comments. What happened? Whoa, they were not. Most of the claims against Templar were unfounded. I can provide books on the subject. No, Jericho. I'm gonna tell you right now, they were the actual problem. Thank you. I am also really sensitive about different energies. Yeah, truly. You know, like if you want to, Jericho, like if you really are serious about that, I am more than happy to come on here and correct myself if you actually can provide sources. Because all the sources I've seen to the contrary are that the Knights Templar literally were the worst abusers and the beginning of the patriarchy that we have today. Thank you. Next. Hey Azura, just wanted to say that you are wonderful. Stay strong, Dragon. Thank you, Chemicals and Conversation. Welcome back to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. I hope you are having a wonderful day. Would love for you to do a separate live on AI witches' perspectives. Have been interesting. Yeah, dude, I would love to. I actually am pretty deep into the AI rabbit hole with what I do for work, so I would love to go into that. Totally off topic, but what have you been cooking lately? Like as in food, or like as like wisdom? I'm cooking up some hot topics, some hot takes over here. I thought the Romans started the page. You know what, Nightmare Fuel Studios? You are 100% correct on that. I stand corrected. That's why if you ask a white man 9 times out of 10, they will say, I think about the Roman Empire at least once a day or a week. And if they don't, they're one of the good ones. And if they do, ask them why. I'm just curious, you know? Let's see, totally off topic, but what have you been cooking lately? Food. No food. Actually, no food at all. You can call me autistic or on some spectrum, but how do I sit in the back seat in a car and look at the back of my brother's ear and watch how his head tilts and hears what is on the radio? Dude, the way that that's so funny that you say that, because like the way that I actually like pay attention to the way people's heads move when they express themselves and the way their ears move when they listen is so bizarre. Do all autistic people do that? Okay. The Templars were a group of warriors for the Crusades, so I'm not surprised by what you said, Azura. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought they were like part of the like religious wars. Like, what? Anytime you start a war for religious reasons, you're automatically the asshole. Like, it's just, that's how it works. And and being so confident that I said it out loud and he wondered how I knew. Oh my gosh, I answered and looked at his ear, legitimate. No, that's crazy. I literally will sometimes, like, I used to have a friend, like, write me in code shit, like, write things in code, because, like, she just, like, used to do it to herself, and I just would, like, watch her. I was just like, let me watch you. Let me watch you, friend. You know, just sometimes learning how to write or speak, like, write things in a certain way or draw things just by watching, you know? I don't know. Jimmy Corsetti has done a lot of research on Egypt and another ancient sites and a pretty good source to learn more. Bright Insight. Oh, okay. He goes to a lot of ancient sites. Oh, interesting. I've never heard of him. I'll look him up. Assyrian Empire, first recorded super warlike empire, manifestation of the negative aspects of Mars. Interesting. Also, smash the like button for authentic dragon live streams. Oh, thanks, Tinkerbell. You smashed that like button. No, I think you guys should hatch the like button. Hatch that like button. So it can be a hatchling. I don't know. Everybody has their own weird thing to say about it. But yeah, dude, like, you know, like, there's just so much we don't know that, like, this is why I'll always say, like, I can be wrong too. You know, like, I'm pretty certain about what I believe because I spend so much time, energy, and effort into making sure that, like, I have the right resources. But, like, at the end of the day, like, we're always learning new things and we're always making new discoveries. Like, that's what it means to be a human. And so, like, whenever I'm presented with new factual information, I'm always going to adapt it and change my perspective because, like, that's what I feel like a healthy adult does. That's what I feel like a healthy adult should be doing. You know what I mean? When they're presented with new factual information, they need to consume it, digest it, and readjust accordingly because that's how you survive, last time I checked. That's how you evolve, last time I checked. I don't know, maybe that's, yeah. The Knights Templar by Sean Martin. All right, so before I read the audiobook, I'm gonna have to do research on Sean Martin because authors matter in this situation. Do you have a pet? I do. Her name is Nayala. She's a little kitten. She was a gift from my boyfriend for my birthday a couple years ago. Well, almost 2 years ago. She's going to turn 2 in August. She's a little Leo, and I love her. I love her very much. She's my little man. I would let her in here, but she's an actual monster. We call her the Tiny Terror because she just chews and eats everything. She shreds everything. She'll literally eat plastic. She eats our rugs too. It's really awful. She ate my mail. So she's more of a bunny. My dog ate my homework? No. My cat ate my homework? We actually call her our dog because she acts like a dog. Like, Nayala is a cat and she will play fetch with us. In about 20 minutes, I got to go for a Neopets meeting with my friends. Did you know Neopets are making a comeback after catching the NFT bug? No way, but that makes a lot of sense. NFTs is great for Neopets. Researching the author is very important. Lots of books about Norse paganism out there written by actual Nazis. Yeah, that's my whole point, Nightmare Fuel Studios. And a lot of the, like, there's, like, a lot of overlap with, like, Nazis, like, Knights Templar stuff, like, actually, like, I'm serious, like, crusade bullshit, and Nazis. Like, I don't know how that works, but it's there. So I'm usually not going to consume any content from men. I'm sorry if that offends you. It's just, I probably won't unless it's, like, from literally Jesus Christ or Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon them. Like, I literally just don't. I'm not saying I don't. I'm just saying I don't prefer it because, like, almost every single body of work that I have consumed by a literal man has, like, somehow not aged well. Not all of them. I don't know why I have to say not all men. It's really annoying. But, like, I hope you know that, like, I'm going to be listening to the educated women of color first, okay? Because why? I think that they have really not gotten their fair share of listening ears, okay? I think that, I'm gonna go directly to the sources of these indigenous people, and usually that's not men. Usually, sorry. Like I said, this is not a blanket statement. I'm not speaking in absolutes here. I'm just saying. I'm sorry if that offends you. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Sorry. Speaking of ETs, what about the theory that they are from here and have been living with us for thousands of years? They live deep in the oceans and are underground or hollow earth-like concept. Yeah, Dad, we were actually talking about that the other day because one of the dragons that I work with basically told me that there is that the earth is flat and round. Second, the best way to describe the way Earth looks is like the Norse mythology Yggdrasil tree thing. And then there's a firmament above and below, as above, so below. And then the below part is full of water, which is considered the underworld. And then these caves and tunnels, like, basically are just entrances into the underworld. So that checks out with indigenous mythology as well. And then basically NASA found the giant dragon that lives on the planet, which is a water dragon at the bottom of the ocean, and they do not want to be here, so they're trying to get out. My dragon guardian also told me that we never have left the planet. It's a hoax. It was propaganda. I don't know how you guys feel about that. I don't believe this. I'm just saying I'm a girl who follows her dragons, and sometimes the dragons tell me things. Nazis, aliens in Antarctica. Oh my, yeah, Dad. Why is there so much Nazi bullshit? You want to know why there's so many Nazi bullshit and like conspiracy theories? Because they made conspiracy theories to justify the Holocaust, like, a period. You know what I mean? So like, I can't take the Quran seriously because of weird thing Muhammad's done about women things. I mean, here's the thing. You know what I mean? Like, you can decide whatever you want. You know what I mean? Like, but at the end of the day, like, Muhammad didn't write the Quran, so like, I hope you know that. Like, like, people think that Muhammad wrote the Quran. No, he just like revealed it through channeling. Like, if you really want me to give you my full opinion, like, I believe the Quran is a channeled work. I think it's an oral tradition that was a channeled work by Prophet Muhammad. You know, the Quran specifically was like Muhammad's channeled work, but like, you know, like Isa, peace be upon him, Jesus, like, had the gospel. That was like his channeled work. Like, I think prophets are honestly channels of God more than anything. So this is why I don't subscribe to the idea of like Muhammad being a perfect person, because I see that a lot being discussed in like Islam spaces. Like, the only person who could be considered perfect would be Muhammad or Jesus, and I just disagree. Humans are imperfect, that's the point, right? So like, this is why, like, you know, God is greater, you know, because of that. So that's just at least like what I do, because like, at the end of the day, like, I could take that same logic and apply it to essentially any type of resource that I use. I could say, oh, because of like, you know, the practices that they did at that time, like, all this stuff is null and void. Like, you could, but like, the earth isn't so black and white like that. Like, life isn't so black and white like that. And I feel like no matter what I'm consuming, there's going to be truth and there's going to be like illusion in anything, right? So like, I think that there's going to be illusions in the Quran. I think there's going to be truth in the Quran. I think there's going to be truth in the Bible. I think there's going to be illusions in the Bible, in any version, even the like extremely meticulously edited, curated versions of them, you know. I that's just how I view the world, you know. So I really try to encourage people to, even when they feel like they can't take a source material seriously, especially in relation to like a religion, for example, I try to encourage people to like put their emotions like that on a back burner and try to consume it from a scholarly perspective instead, because it's just good to know. It's just good to know things, especially in historical contexts. Like, let me give you a real world example. There's certain practices, for example, that like, you know, Muslims do when they pray, that like, if you aren't familiar with that, you might think it looks evil, right? But like, if you had the proper education, because you educated yourself, then you would know better when you saw something like that, that it's actually not scary. It's just what they do. It's how they practice. It's how they express themselves, you know? And having that type of education, I even believe, should be required in things like the medical field. Like, they should be required to do a full in-depth study of cultural practices, because it can save lives. Like, there's certain people who do certain cultural things or who have certain cultural experiences that, had somebody who hadn't been culturally informed on the team, could have ended completely differently. Sometimes people lose their lives from the lack of cultural education. So this is simply why I choose to read everything that I can get my hands on. I like to read. It's just how we go. Facts. That's how my religious studies taught us. He taught from a historical and non-dogmatic thought. Yes, exactly, as it should be. Like people can study religion from a scientific perspective. People can study religion from a cultural perspective. People can study religion from a psychological perspective. People can study religion from a spiritual perspective. You can literally take any perspective. Any perspective. Advice I can give to everyone: never take any religious text or mythology 100% seriously. They all have truths and they all have BS. Think for yourself and take lessons from them. Yes, exactly, Nightmare Fuel Studios, which is why I'm so adamant on this channel about, like, even two Muslims aren't going to believe and practice the same way. You know, that's why you'll see on your, like, if you guys are on TikTok, you'll see on your For You page, people will have religious debates all the time, even if they're in the same religious faith. Why? Because, like, they're different perspectives, and that's what's fun. Like, that's what's fun about this life, because what if God created us all the same, doing the same thing? That would completely erase the point of this life. Wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? And in my experience, anything that moves us towards unity is moving us towards, like, God, moving us towards the light, if you will. Anything moving us towards separation, towards us versus them, is moving towards darkness, moving towards the devil, moving towards evil. Using these terms very loosely. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Dragonfay Rose. You are amazing. I so appreciate that. It's very difficult for a guy like me who has worked in the aerospace industry building test and station, keeping equipment for satellites, to take the flat earth theory serious. That's okay, Dad. Like, I feel like, I just feel like it's really silly. You know, like, but I think we all can agree on one thing, that, like, there's more to this world than meets the eye, and I think it's just fun to entertain the possibilities, you know? I think it's fun. The Quran was also written around 550 years after the Bible. Yes, I knew this. Let's see. United we stand, divided we fall. Yeah, I love that song. If you guys listen to Bring Me the Horizon, I don't remember what song it is, but they go, united we stand, divided we fall. So emo. We all try to avoid the jagged path. Yeah, F in the chat for the jagged path. Honestly. Heading out for the night. Glad to catch a live stream. Catch you later. Oh my gosh, love you, Dragonfay. You were the best. I hope you're doing so well. Give your partner a hug for me. Hope you guys are doing well. But yeah, so like I said, you know, every single part of life is part of the path. Every single moment of every single second of every single day is part of your path. After my spiritual practice, I have come to the conclusion that you can't fall off your path. You know, I've discussed it many times in my YouTube channel videos, even maybe in some of my live streams, about falling off your path. And I guess very recently I've come to the terms that, like, you don't fall off your path. You just don't. You literally can't. Like, the path is forged for you in each moment that you choose to do something. You know, it's your choices that create your path. You know, how can you fall off your path? Even not making a choice is a choice, right? So it's like, that's the law of paradox coming into play, which is how, like, you can't fall off your path because you just keep walking it, you know? Like, every single second forward is just another line in the storybook of your journey, you know? And when I feel really out of practice, or that's probably what I would prefer to call it now that I think of it. You know, instead of saying I've fallen off my path, I'm just gonna start calling it I'm out of practice, because it's just like an instrument, you know what I mean? Like, in a way that, like, I'm only gonna be good at saxophone if I keep practicing, right? Like, I'm gonna sound like a beginner if I haven't played in years, and the only way I'm gonna get my talent back is if I start practicing every single day. And believe it or not, when you're a witch who has fallen off your path, or who has just not practiced often or a lot in recent times, once you start picking it up again, you'd be really fascinated to see how quickly you pick it up again. Because, like, our muscles have memory, our body keeps the score, and, you know, chances are, like, you might not even know that the journey of you falling off your path was probably one of the most important parts of your journey. Ooh, bars. Like, you know, like, we're always gonna have moments where we feel like we're lost, and that's part of the journey. It doesn't mean you are wrong. It doesn't mean you are not where you should be. No, you are exactly where you're meant to be. Everything is just in its place as it should be right now, in all of its perfect imperfections. Like, I don't care how messy my room is. It's just as it needs to be right now because of where I am in my life. And you know, and I can choose to change it at any moment. And when I do, it'll be just the moment when I'm supposed to choose that. You know? It's all a matter of perspective, and in my life, what I've learned is the secret, like the true secret, not this stupid book called The Secret, but like the real secret in life is realizing that you can choose to imagine a world that everybody tells you you can't have. And I chose to imagine a world where I could have everything that I was told I couldn't have. I was told you can't be a witch who's a pop star. The two cannot coexist. And I can literally pull out a freaking list, starting with Bjork, of who are already witches who are famous, okay? Like famous pop stars. Like there's just like so many like things that I went through with bullying too. You know, like even on this channel, I was a child when I started this YouTube channel, and I posted my videos as a literal child with her brain still developing, one of like as the first generation of like people growing up on the internet. Like I was a guinea pig and I didn't know how it was going to affect my brain, and nobody did. And like I learned the hard way, and I've had to kind of like develop a way or a coping mechanism to deal with, you know, some of the horrible religious hate I get on this channel. I just do. And it's so amazing to me, actually, that like it doesn't matter when I go live, I will always have somebody in my comment section reminding me that I'm going to hell for being a witch. And it doesn't matter if they're Muslim, it doesn't matter if they're Christian, it doesn't matter if they're Jewish. It's all happened on this channel, okay? And that is not to be Islamophobic, it's not to be anti-Semitic, and it's not to be like anti-Christian. It's literally just my experience. And I have had incredibly kind, loving Muslim, Christian, and Jewish people on this channel who have like left me some of the most sweetest, kindest comments I've ever received. And I've also had the polar opposite, right? The worst comments I've received have been from these same people, which again, all it does goes to demonstrate to you how two Christians, two Muslims, two Jewish people, two witches, even though they identify as the same thing, doesn't mean that they are the same person. You know? So true about your generation and the internet. Yeah. And I, because of how well my channel did when I was so young, nobody was really creating content in the witchy space. They just weren't, you know? And when I was like very, very early on this channel, like I had a lot of adult men making content about me, a child, thinking that it was okay to make fun of me, a child. Like, Judgment Day exists for a reason, I guess. I don't know what to say. I'm pagan and my best friend is Catholic. Not all who follow a Abrahamic religion is bad or anti-pagan or witchcraft. Exactly. You know, like one of my Mormon cousins, you know, she's literally like always just telling me how much she loves what I do for people. She's like, I think what you do is beautiful. You know what I mean? She was like, and you're always welcome in my home. You know, like we love you. Question, how many of today's religions existed more than 12,000 years ago? My dad is asking the real questions today, okay? Because that's what I want to know. I'm pretty sure that Hinduism is the oldest religion today. I don't know how old it is, but I know that it like predates historically any other one currently, right? Not sure. I'm not sure either, actually. Witchcraft? Witchcraft? Can I argue witchcraft? Arguably making medicine is witchcraft, so I think I could argue that. But that's not like technically a religion, so maybe I can't argue that. I don't know, Dad. You really got me with that one. But yeah. So some people take things too far. That's what we should all try to avoid. Nothing wrong with entertaining weird ideas. Yeah, so this is another thing I really would like to say. You know, when you're ever presented with information that like you don't understand or might seem scary or might make you question your beliefs, or you just genuinely have never seen it before, like I really hope I can get you guys to approach things with skepticism and curiosity and like, you know, empathy before you jump straight to judgment, you know? Like, we had some people in the comments today saying like, oh, you know what the Quran says about witchcraft, right? Doesn't that sound like a threat to you? Because it felt like a threat, you know? And I know that as soon as you leave stuff like that, all the hatchlings don't feel safe. They don't even have to tell me that. I just know that they feel that because, like, I'm a magical motherfucker, okay? And I know shit, right? So, like, if you really do read the Quran, you would know that it says about 1,000,000 times more than anything else in the name of the most merciful, Allah the most merciful, and only most merciful. You would know that being able to understand your audience, you would be able to construct a message to deliver the word of God in a way that they would be able to receive it. Okay? So, animism is the oldest religion. You know what, crossbow gaming? You're absolutely right, because that has indigenous precedent to it, and I subscribe to that shit. I love animism. Hinduism is one that is older than 12,000 years. Oh, really? Really, is it? How old is Hinduism, Dad? Do you know off the top of your head? I think God's universe is different and stranger than we think, and mankind wrote the Quran and the Bible. It doesn't mean it's all wrong or all right. It's just a form to learn and live by. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, you can literally write your own religion. Like, don't be surprised if I do that just to troll the planet, because it's, like, ridiculous at this point. You know what I mean? Because it's like, how is any other religion not a troll at this point, right? Like, are you kidding me? Some of the Christian shit I see, like, relax in my country, please. Like, you guys can have your churches, please enjoy them, but, like, stay the hell away from my laws governing my body, thank you. Like, I am not gonna have kids just because some Christian who has a law-making ability said so. That's when things get dangerous, right? Because, like, then, like, they feel like there's, like, this, like, divine need to, like, enact God's will. You know what I mean? Like, same with, like, Sharia law. Like, the second that, for those of you guys who don't know, Sharia law is, like Muslim law, like, in some, like, Middle Eastern countries. And it's, like, not fair. You know, like, you can't just, like, create religious law. Like, that is actually of the devil. Do you want to know why? Because it creates fear and trauma for human beings. It doesn't unify people, okay? It creates a police state that makes people afraid to be who they are. And that's the problem, okay? So, glad that we got that off my chest. I think kids are overrated. I actually think having kids is overrated, but I think kids are actually the true sages of the human race. You want to know why? Because they are, like, the freshest off the print. Do you know what I mean? And, like, they're neither conditioned by trauma nor, like, any other beliefs, right? Like, they're not overly logical, right? They're just here. They're as present as possible. That's the best way I can put it. There's no ulterior motives. They're just here. They're in this bitch, okay? And, like, that's why you should always listen to what children have to say. You know, like, if a child tells you something, you're gonna believe them, okay? Because especially if the younger they are, you're gonna believe them, okay? Like, of course you should always first believe a child over an adult any day of the week. I do not care. Like, might be a hot take. I don't really care if it's a hot take. Fuck you. Children deserve more support, you know? But that's, like, yeah, many kids are a clean memory wipe of soul, but some do remember past lives. Yes, JG, they do. I have seen some crazy stories of, like, little kids remembering past lives that they certainly shouldn't have. Very compelling, made me want to learn more about past lives when I've really never, like, resonated with it. But yeah, like, I personally am just, like, as much as I learn, I'll just never know. So that's why I want people to approach, like, a topic like religion, for example, with, like, curiosity, empathy, and, like, just, like, listening ears before they approach it with, like, a judgment or fear or hate, because, like, we're taught to hate, you know what I mean? Like, You know, like we're even taught to hate ourselves. Like we don't, like when we're born, we don't naturally hate ourselves. Do you guys know that? Like every single one of you guys who struggles with any sort of like negative self-talk, please know you were taught that. Like I hope you know that you're not struggling with something that's inherently part of who you are. You're not. Like people do not inherently talk down to themselves, because why? People, when they're born into this world, before anything else taints their experience here, they are just happy to be alive and they want to connect with the humans around them. That's it. That's the life of a baby. They want to meet their needs, they want to be close with us, and they want to feel loved. That is it. And that is at the very core of who we are. All we want to do is meet our needs, feel connected, and loved. Period. So this is why I think it's incredibly important for us to just really remember that, like, we need to be kinder to ourselves first, and doing that is going to enable us to be kinder to others. And one of the best ways that I was able to extend kindness to myself was after all of the cheating that I had been victim to and all of the betrayal that I had endured that had really destroyed my view of my value. It really like made me question my value of who I am as a person, and made me talk down to myself, and made me feel like I had to be like almost like better than everybody else, so it would never even be a possibility for me to like be in that position again. That was my like response to wanting to protect myself. But the best way that I was able to extend love to myself was by giving myself permission that I don't need to be the prettiest, perfect girl in the room. In fact, I actually don't want to be. I don't want that to be my focus for when I go out and connect with people. No, I want my focus to be on how can I be the most authentic, kind, joyful version of myself, because that's the girl I want to see. That's the girl I love. And that's the girl who deserves more of a seat at the table, because not just because she's a pretty face, but because she's, you know, a force to be reckoned with. And, you know, it was really hard for me to come to that conclusion after everything I've been through. It was really easy for me to say, like, I made all the wrong decisions and, like, I'll never have the career that I want because I'm too old now. It was really easy for me to choose that narrative. And it's really scary choosing a different narrative every single day. You know, it's really scary choosing to, like, not prioritize like being the perfect pretty girl in the room when I know every other girl is going to try to do the same thing. And I also know that like the prettier that I am and the more perfect I appear when I'm at these places, the more opportunities I will get, and it'll never be like that for a man. So I choose to love myself by saying, you know what, fuck all of that. I don't want any of that opportunity unless they come to my table, because I am an authentic, brilliant, kind, and compassionate individual. And that set me free. It really did. It really did. It took such a huge weight off my shoulders. I feel like I literally, like, I felt like I was, like, cradled by God a little bit when I came to that realization, because it's something that I have just so intimately struggled and suffered with ever since my heart was broken by the first, like, boy I ever fell in love with, you know, like, even, you know, like my parents got divorced when I was really young, and that also affected my view of my value, you know, but like the more that I look back at my life journey and the more that I ponder over everything that I've been through, the more that I realize that it just all happened perfectly. Like, all of the horrible things were perfect. I don't even know how to describe it other than that. Like I don't care if that's like maybe a hot take or like insensitive, but like I have been through some horrible things that like you guys couldn't even imagine, and like I am in love with my life. And it's taking me so long to get here. It's taking me so long to get here. By the way, I forgot, how's the foot doing? It's doing okay. I am, no more stitches. The scar is almost fully healed. I got a little bit of a scab left. I got some swelling. Unfortunately, I have lost a little bit of the feeling in my foot. So I can't really get too sad about that. We're gonna go see a doctor, a foot specialist, to see if I can get any of the feeling back in my foot, but I'm pretty sure the loss of feeling came from me over icing my foot and not the injury itself. However, where the scar is right on my foot, when I like lightly tap the scar, everywhere on my foot that I can't really feel right now like zings. So I have a feeling that maybe the injury is kind of like right on a nerve, or the scab is like right on a nerve, so I just don't really know what's gonna happen. The good news is I can walk pretty much perfectly. I would say I'm about like 92% walking like perfectly. So yeah. But anyway, let's see. I love to sing and lost my voice years ago, and it's been hard for me because it was a huge part of my life, but I still love music. Yeah, dude. That's a very similar story to me, you know, and especially when I started learning about, you know, more religion, like my dragon guardians told me to. I even learned that like music is, again, like listening to music is like bad in certain religions. Like, for example, some Muslims believe that listening to music is considered haram, which means like forbidden by God. And that really like threw me for a loop, because like the one thing that's like saved my life other than magic is music. And like where I have found God the most has been through music, if that makes sense. So that was just like really bizarre to me, and I was just like, wait a second, no. Sometimes feeling comes back over time. Thanks, Dad. I appreciate it. That's what Adil keeps telling me, and that's what Adil's siblings keep telling me. So hopefully you guys are right. I'm just a little anxious about it, I guess you could say. But it's not like too bad. Like, it's not like to the point to where like I can't walk or anything, if that makes sense. So it's really not that bad. It's not like internal, it's like just a surface level thing. Like when I tap the part of my foot that I can't feel, like I can feel the tapping underneath my skin. Does that make sense? I don't know how else to describe it. Music is magic, that's what I'm saying. So there's that. And that's why like I have kind of had to remind myself, like, you know what, I don't really care like how old I get. Like I don't really care how many people listen. Like I don't really care what stages I get on or whatever the fuck. Like I'm meant to sing, and it's not a sin, and I don't care what anyone else says, because when I sing, I feel the most alive. When I sing, I feel closest to God. When I sing, I am magic. So that's all I gotta say. You know, anything that makes you feel ashamed, anything that makes you afraid, anything that makes you feel separated, anything that makes you feel hate or hated is not of God. And that is something that I have learned through my journey of healing my religious trauma. Because growing up in the churches, I was very much told by my pastors and my like Sunday school teachers what was and what wasn't God. And if I didn't subscribe to that version, I just was not, it was not good for me. That's all I'm gonna say. And I've just felt very much the odd one out my whole life. Like I feel like I have misfit in my whole life just because I have such a different perspective on the world. And maybe it's because I'm an INFJ personality type. Who knows? Or whatever those things are. The rare one is the one I am, or whatever that means. But like, I just like, I'm tired of like silencing myself and like making myself palatable to others. I'm tired of like trying to appear a certain way when I don't want to. I'm tired of trying to like fit into a certain narrative when like it's not mine. I'm tired of trying to appease other people who have more power than me just so I'll get into rooms that I hope will give me access to what I'm looking for, and it's just like a fucking shit show, actually. And at the end of the day, I am starting to realize that like I am like whatever industry you guys are in, like one of the like most powerful affirmations I've used in my career, fun fact, is to just declare that you are your career. Like I said, I am the music industry. Bitch, what are you gonna do? I am the acting industry. Bitch, what are you gonna do? You know, I am the modeling industry. Bitch, what are you gonna do? Like, and I'll do these affirmations with myself in the mirror, right? You know, like, and it doesn't matter, right? Like what you're saying, if it's like true or not, you're not saying things because they're true or not. You're saying things because the words have power to make you feel a certain way. And when you elicit that type of feeling within yourself, that is how magic begins, you know? And so I was so depressed from what I've been through. I was so anxious about what people told me I could and could not be, and just, you know, like just how long I've been out of the music industry. It was like people have told me, like, if you don't break it by the time you're like, you know, 16 or 18, like you're finished, you're run through, like the music industry will chew you up and spit you out. And I felt like I was already at the end of being spit out, and I was like, how do I do this? I feel like I didn't even get a chance to like try to like pursue this career, because all I've been doing is running from trauma to figure out my life, you know? And at the end of the day, it only got better when I stopped and said, I am the music. I am the song. I am the studio session. I am the mixing board. I am the microphone. I am the headphones. I am the CD. I am the song. Like, I am the music industry. You know, like, that's how I healed myself, and how you can heal yourself too. Like, if you have dreams, tell yourself that you are that dream, because you are, baby. Like, I couldn't be here living my dream unless I said I am. I had to believe that I could do it first. You know, like, I've been through so much. Like, I don't want to be crying anymore. Like, which is why I have to talk about it. Like, I've been avoiding talking about it for years because it's scary to talk about. Like, if I talk about really everything I've been through, I'm afraid you guys won't think of me the same. Like, I'm afraid people will think I'm evil, or that I'm like a murderer, or that I'm like a horrible person, or that, like, you know, whatever. Like, you know, people might think that like I'm terrible, like, but it's like, no, like, I don't know unless I talk about it, and like people are allowed to like not like me. Like, I'm safe to be unliked. It's safe to be unliked. You know, it's safe to be hated. You know, like, I know that might sound like, that might really trigger some beliefs that you guys have, but like, I've had to really come up with these crazy ass affirmations to give me the self-security that I need to stand in these rooms with my head held high, and to show up knowing who I am, and knowing that what I bring to the table is more valuable than what they're offering me, because it just is. And Pickle Chips tells me every single time, don't you dare be afraid of these people. You have so much more than they do. Thank you, Pickle Chips. You're my real cheerleader, bro. I literally couldn't do anything without Pickle Chips these days. Like, I don't know how I'd be alive without Pickle Chips, and I think that's why Pickle Chips is around. Because, like, Pickle Chips came to me around the time that I lost my cat. And, you know, I just have a feeling that, like Pickle Chips was kind of just, like, watching over me and waiting until I had my first real, like, devastating loss in my life, like, real intimate loss, like, to death, because they came around when, like, all this death was happening in my life, but it's like the only one who told me that nobody would like me because of what I've been through were the people who hurt me. And it's like, who benefits from that? Who benefits from my silence? They do. And that's why they probably told me those things. Yeah, the internet's always gonna be mean no matter who you are. Never take them personal. Exactly. And that's something that, like, I didn't know when I was a kid and I first started this YouTube channel and I started getting hate. I was a child. Like, nobody had any idea what cyberbullying was. Nobody had any idea what that would do to a child's brain. Like, there were no regulations. There were no, like, you have to be 13 years or older to sign up. There was nothing like that. There was no, like, age gating anything. Nothing like that. And because of that, like I said earlier, I was kind of an experiment. My generation was an experiment on the internet, you know, and I had to learn how to deal with it. And I'm realizing that the best way to deal with it is to ignore it and let it be there, because, like, at the end of the day, the hate really helps the algorithm. I can see this on the back end in the work that I do. Rageonomics is a thing. So yeah, you know, like, people are gonna hate on you because it's easy views. Oh, thanks, JG, for the tip. Self-love is the purpose of all religion. How can you love others? Golden rule if you can't learn to love yourself. I love that, JG. You're absolutely right. Self-love is the purpose of all religion. And I think I would go a little bit further to extend that, you know, community and unity is also the purpose of religion. You know, like, it's to find people who are just like you, you know, when you feel like maybe you don't have anywhere else to go, you know, like, that's how I found you guys, you know, like, I had no one else who felt like me, who I could talk to about what I wanted to talk to. And all of that changed when I met the hatchlings, when I met all of you beautiful people. Like, I wouldn't have the life that I do today, you know, if it wasn't for you guys. Like, you guys are the ones who bought me every opportunity I have simply because you liked my videos, you watched my videos, you leave your comments, and you hit subscribe, and you keep coming back for more. And I will never forget that, no matter what room I enter, because I see how many people forget that, and it makes me so angry. Like, they'll never appreciate the audiences they have, and when they don't appreciate the audiences they have, I know they won't appreciate me or my time or my audience. So that's why I have made a lot of content with some of these people, and I have chosen not to post it on my channel, even though it would get a lot of views and it would do really well algorithmically because it's a bunch of famous YouTubers. But I'm choosing not to post it because I don't agree with these people anymore. And I don't want to give them my platform, and I don't want them to be on your platform either, because like, this channel is just as much your channel as it is my channel. This channel does not belong to me. It might have my name on it, but it's our home, and I will never ever 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 put somebody on this platform that I don't agree with or that doesn't make me feel safe if I know about it beforehand, you know. And so that's why sometimes I feel like I have imposter syndrome in the work that I do. But Pickle Chips will tell me all the time, they're like, you bought yourself a seat at this table because of who you are, not because of your parents, not because of your money, and not because of, you know, whatever. You're not a Nepo baby, you're not none of this. No, you earned your seat at this table because you did the work, you went through the trials, you earned the access to the magic that got you here. And every single room you enter, you need to carry that with you. And Pickle Chips tells me everything I do, even when I'm alone, sitting in bed, scrolling on TikTok, I need to carry that with me. Because sometimes when I see people on TikTok who are struggling, they need that version of me to show up in their comment section. Do you know what I mean? They need that version of me to reshare their video, to make a response, to help them. Because had I been any other version that forgot who I truly am, I might not be doing my job the best that I could. I might not be fulfilling my purpose in the way that I meant to. You know what I mean? How do I at people properly? Huh? How? I'm so sorry, I don't understand that. My cat is my guru. Totally valid. We worshipped cats for a reason in Egypt. We still do. Even I joined your stream to make a stupid joke. I was just bored. Never take internet comments personally. No, exactly. You know what I mean? And I don't crossover gaming. There's so many people who literally find my streams just to troll me. And I love you guys because, like, you guys are so much fun for me to engage with. Not only do you guys actually help my channel, like, thank you for trolling me, but like, now we have like actual culture around the trolls on this chat. Like, remember the womp womps? Womp womp in the chat. Womp womp, where you at? Like, people used to say womp womp in the chat when I would like cry on stream, just like spam the chat with womps, you know. And it's just like, and now some of them are subscribed, and it's because like, it's not that serious. Like, it's not that serious. Like, we're just here to fuck around and find out, man. Without hurting people, I'm trying my best to just be as like conscious of my steps, you know. I think it's just important to be conscious of others. I don't know, what a hot take. Someone keeps saying that they love me, but I don't know how to respond. Do you feel loved? Because if you don't know how to respond and you don't feel loved, that would make sense. Does living need to be put in timeout? I don't know. Maybe, brother. Maybe. Like, here in chat. Oh, I don't know, my friend. If he does it again, I'll put him in timeout. Uh-oh. Okay, oh my god, there's drama. Oh my gosh. Gosh, I'm sorry. Sometimes there's weird stuff in this chat. So, yeah, you know. I mean, the best thing that I do in life is just not take people seriously. That has been my best asset, honestly, in navigating life. I have been like, you know what? I'm not going to take anything seriously except myself. Crying is great. I just cry because of my trauma. I wish I could cry when I need to cry. I can't cry. Crossbow gaming, it's really interesting that you mentioned that. Last stream, I actually talked about men crying because, like, one of the guys in the chat said, what do you say? He said, like, men learn how to count by how many times they've been hit over their head. And, like, it just reminded me of all the men in my life who've suffered a lot of abuse, who were literally, like a lot of it started when they would cry to express their emotions, and, like, their fathers would, like, beat that out of them, saying, like, that's not manly, blah, blah, blah. Like, you're a boy, stop crying, kind of thing. Like, super sexist, right? Oh my gosh. Thank you for the super chat, Dad. Thanks for being you. Remember, Dad tells you to remember that it's about who you are, not about what you are. Hang in there, keep fighting the good fight. Dad, you know I always do. It's so funny you say that, like, because, like, everyone in the industry always says it's about who you know, not what you know, Dad. And even you told me that, I think, a long time ago. But, like, now, whenever I do any work in the industry or with my job or anything like that, I come with the energy of it's about what I am. Excuse me, it's about who I am, you know, not about what I have access to or who I know or any of that. No, I approach, like, all of my work with, like, the energy of this is who I am. And I'm not gonna just, like, let anyone shake me out of that, you know? But, like, with the crying thing, it can be a problem that never fixes itself. I know a lot of men who were, like, had their tears beat out of them, and they died never crying ever again. And I think that is so sad, you know, because it'll just make men more comfortable with picking up a gun and pointing it at your head than picking up a mirror and pointing it to their hearts. And it's the saddest, most heartbreaking thing I think that could ever happen to a human, is being removed from their ability to feel, especially cry. Even in my worst moments, I can't cry. I wish I could. I'm actually gonna just, because I believe so strongly in crying as, like, a healing tool, a healing modality, I am gonna do research into creating rituals to help people cry who struggle with it. I am a person who learned how to cry on command when I was in theater. But, like, crying on command looks very different than authentic crying. So, like, I wouldn't really, like, teach it from that perspective. I would teach it from, like, a somatic perspective. So, like, the healing modality. The best thing that I can say to start with, if you struggle with crying and wish that you could, is to look into EFT tapping. I forget the acronym meaning, but basically it translates to tapping your body when you're in traumatic states, reaffirming certain things for yourself. So, like, for example, when I would hear planes overhead, I would get really bad anxiety. So I would be like, it's safe to hear planes. You know, unfortunately, it should be safe for everybody to hear planes. Some people are not safe to hear planes. And I will literally do everything I can until everybody is safe when they hear planes, because of just how much anxiety I have had with it without any, like, actual trauma from it. You know what I mean? So I can only imagine. But for example, like with my period, sometimes I get really overly emotional on my period, and, like, I'll tell myself it's safe to be overly emotional. You know, like, for example, it's safe for people to not understand me. It's safe for people to disagree with me. It's safe for people to misunderstand me. It's safe for people to not hear me properly. I am still loved when things don't go the way I expect them to. Because I used to feel like things have to go in a certain specific way, and if they don't go in said order, then the person doesn't love me, and that was ruining my relationships. Sometimes I force myself to cry, but I can't. I wish I can cry when I want to. Pray. Wow, that's such a struggle. I can't even imagine. you know, but I would love to try and create some sort of like live, like a live type of thing that I could do where I could maybe help people, you know, cry again, because it's a huge part of my practice. Most of the wisdom that I unlock with my dragon guardians comes through intense emotional crying sessions. Usually, by witnessing something that's horrible in the world, by making a connection about my own trauma, or either having a flashback or just struggling with something, or like just anything. You know, I'll, you know, sometimes be in the deep throes of emotion, and that's when I'll have like those aha moments where it's like I'll get that access to that knowledge. And it's because my dragon guardians tell me it's because I allow myself to express and experience my feeling. Pickle Chips tells me that real dragons cry, and those who can't cry should never be ashamed of it. They should just know that like it's not their fault, and that there's always a time and a place to change it, and it's always possible, because we live in a world of possibilities, and you are not a lost case unless you choose to be one. And for a long time, I was choosing to be a lost cause. I did not want to walk among you guys again. I did not want to be around anybody. I just wanted to slowly rot away. I really did. And in those moments of crying, not wanting to be on the planet, not wanting to talk to anyone, not wanting to have relationships, not wanting to deal with any of it, it was in those moments that I came to certain realizations of information that all that matters is right now. All that matters is each other. All that matters is our planet and the time that we have here. That's it. And it's really not that serious. Other than that, like, that's the only thing we should be taking seriously. Everything else is for shits and giggles. Do you know what I mean? That means religion is for shits and giggles. That means your profession is for shits and giggles. You know what I mean? Like, as long as you're not hurting anyone, you know, in any way, shape, or form, or taking away people's rights, like, you can any harm none, do what you will, pretty much. You know what I mean? And I just have reached this point in my life where it's like, I am not going to push myself I'm not going to push myself into silence anymore about what I've been through. Like, there's so many, especially women, who have been through actual criminal behavior who do not talk about it because we're the ones who are treated as criminals when we do. And my guardians have told me that I am strong enough now that whenever I'm ready, I'll be able to handle it. If I want to come out about it, I don't have to, but I can. I'm ready. They told me I'm ready. Can you say more on what is your trauma? Sorry if it's too sensitive a topic. Right now, I'm not too comfortable about that. But for today, I did talk about the cheating trauma that I have. I have really, really, really bad betrayal wound because of the cheating that I've been through in my previous like relationships, and how that has translated into me being a red flag in my current relationship. You know, I would be like hyper vigilant of his behavior and just hyper suspicious, and like almost like helicopter him whenever he's on the phone. And I still do it to this day, and it kills me. I hate it. I hate it. I want it to stop. I hate it. I want it to stop. I hate the way it makes me look to him too, like, because I can only imagine how, like, you know, because he understands why I do it, but it's still like, you know, like, if I know that if I was in his shoes and like he was watching me on my phone every single second of the day, like asking me who I'm talking to, like, I would be pretty annoyed with that. So I'm just like, damn, this sucks. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to deal with this, but like I had to make the choice to love him anyway. You know, like, I don't have control over what he does, my boyfriend now. I don't. Like, if, like, anyone can choose to cheat. It's a choice. Cheating is a choice. You don't accidentally, it's a choice. Say it with me. Cheating is a choice. Thank you. So with that being said, because it's a choice, thank you. Cheating is a choice. Thank you. Yeah. Glad we had the conversation. Because cheating is a choice. I can't control someone's choice. I can control my choice, and I choose to love him anyway. And if any of his actions show me that I shouldn't love him anyway, I will act accordingly. And I trust myself enough to move with that, whatever happens. You know, anxious attachment style for sure, 100%, really bad, like to the actual textbook definition, that bad. But like, you now, like, I'm aware of it. I still struggle with it, especially in the industry that I'm in. It's almost like I'm on fire all the time. Because like it's so hard, brother. Like, it's just like, dude, like the industry that I'm in is just like all about like being as pretty and perfect and as possible. And I'll tell you right now, you want some secret I shouldn't tell you, since that's the name of this stream? Surprise. A lot of the celebrity relationships you see are not actual relationships. They are business contracts for people to get what? Money. And then the breakups are also what? Business contracts to get what? Money, attention, and recognition or fame. Like, that is the point. Do you know what I mean? And like, I have seen, you know, like a lot of awful things. I have even had people in the industry tell me that like we should do something like that for like publicity, and I'm just like, the fuck no. Like, and the more that I gain access to what I do in my business, the more like evil I see everywhere, and the more that I see, like, I guess you could say, devils in sheep's clothing, you know. And I have to be on top of my A game in this type of industry, like, especially with who I am and what I do. Like, I am not allowed to falter anymore. My Pickle Chips tells me this. Pickle Chips says, you created this life for yourself. You getting what you asked for. Are you ready? Like, Pickle Chips is scary, you guys. I'm afraid. Okay? Pickle Chips kicks my ass. Okay? Kicks my ass. If he cheats, he won't cheat. It's just my own trauma. But like, he also has cheating trauma too. It's just like he coped with it differently. You know, like the way that my boyfriend coped with his cheating trauma was just to become completely avoidant, where like almost to some degree he's like never fully invested, because that's how he protects himself, you know. And like, we help each other through that, and that's the beautiful part of our relationship, you know. And like, a lot of people don't understand it, and like, I've lost a lot of friends because I've chosen this man as my man. Never have I ever had that experience in my life. Never have I ever lost friends because I chose somebody as a partner. That is insane. Like, to the point to where some of these people, when they would, like, there was this, like, a couple friends that were, like, would, like, guy friends that would, like, flirt with me. And, like, one time this guy said, I love the smell of your pheromones, and that was my, that killed me. I was ready to die after I heard him say that. And then when I was like, no, I'm not interested in this, like, this is weird, like, ew, like, that's when I started getting, like, a different energy from them. And they're like, why the fuck are you with this guy? Like, this guy's, like, so weird, like, he's nothing like you. They're like, you're this, like, you know, this trippy hippie witch girl, and he's like this, like, pop kid with, like, a pipe dream. Like, what the hell are you doing? Like, you're so much better than this, Azura. Like, we want so much better for you. Like, this is just not the right guy for you. And I'm just like, who the hell are you? Because I don't know you anymore. Bye. You know what I mean? Yeah, what the fuck is right? Like, it's like bizarre. And it's like, it's because like my boyfriend, like, I was like naive in the sense to where like sometimes these guys would just like hang out with me and like our friend group and just be like really overly, like, obviously overly doing bad things, like in the sense of like flirting with me. Like, you could just tell they weren't my friends, right? And he was just like, you know, he was never like, you can't hang out with that person, which is like exactly what my exes would do. He would just tell me what's up when he saw it, you know, like a good person would do, you know. But he was always like, you have your own life, you make your own decisions. Like, he's like, you can do what you want, you know what I mean? Like, I can't control you. Like, you do what you want, and whatever you want to do is what you're gonna do. You know. And like, if it's fucking weird what you want to do, then I'm not gonna want to be around, you know. And I'm like, hey, I like that. You know, that feels great. What kind of a pickup line is that? That's beyond crazy, honestly. Oh my god, it's so fucked up. Don't do drugs. Yeah, I've already done the drugs. But anyway, no, it's just it's really funny because like even some of my family members think that like my boyfriend is like literally abusing me, and he's like the only one who's like actually like doing everything he can to take care of me. Like this man isn't married to me, and like he's paying my medical bills. Like, do you understand? Like some of my family won't even pay my medical bills. And I'm not talking about my dad, because he's actually awesome, okay? No hate on my dad in this chat, okay? He's the cool kid. He's the cool kid of the family, alright? But, yeah. So, I digress. Shit was weird. That's good. Those people left your life. They weren't your true friends. No, they were not. Not at all. And it was so weird, man. And then even like years later, they popped up and just were like sending me the most vile things in my DMs on Instagram. Part of the reason why I avoid Instagram DMs now is because I got a lot of people from my past saying shit to me sometimes. And I'm just like, no thanks. Unsubscribe. Like, I don't believe really in blocking people unless you're a celebrity who doesn't deserve my revenue. That's the only reason why I'm gonna use the block button. Otherwise, you're giving my account engagement, therefore I'm gonna enjoy that shit. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna listen to my agency's advice, thanks, you know what I mean? And I'm not gonna engage with the bullshit if I can avoid it. That is the whole point. Which is why I've really had to like kind of take a step back from all of the like influencer collaboration stuff, because if you follow some of the, which if you follow me, you probably don't follow these other influencers, to be honest, but like being in the videos that I was in with them are just like so, what's the word? Just like so like kiddie, I guess I could say. Like they're skits that are dumb, honestly, or they're just like, you know, like little like weird bits for their TikToks or whatever. Or like some of these people that I work with like are like super Disney Channel kiddos, like, but like not even like children. Like some of them are like my age or like in their like 20s, you know, like, and they're literally like working with Disney Channel and they have like such crazy contracts that like they're like, it's probably just not a good idea for like me to get on camera with you. Like I just think that would like be a violation of my contract. I will never be one of those people. Like, fuck that life. Like, I do not want to live my life, the life of my dreams, but it costs me the ability to, like, oh, I don't know, like, work with other people. Do you do the lesser banishing rituals of pentagram? Yes, I love that ritual. It's so good. So, so good. Yeah, so there's that. But, like, I'm just like, what? Like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing here? Like, fine, if you think it's not a good fit to like even have me on camera with you, like don't even talk to me. Like I don't believe in that kind of life, you know, anymore. I don't believe in that, you know, which is why I'm just like so loud about like my political beliefs too these days, like because they shouldn't even be political beliefs. Do you understand what I mean? Like I'm so like open and like advocating like for like, I don't know, the health and well-being of all human life on this planet, and for some reason that makes me an actual political like extremist. Can somebody tell me why? That's good. Yeah, it's really good they left my life, because they weren't doing me any favors. They really weren't. They were not. They weren't even tagging me in their videos, and they weren't even following me. Like one of them literally like a year later, like noticed they weren't following me, and they were like, oh my god, I haven't been following you all this time. Okay, that's weird. Like it's so weird. Like, but don't get me wrong, like there's a lot of people who I work with, including our friend who we have over right now in the recording studio. I'm recording a song with my boyfriend. But like literally I work really hard to find the good ones, guys. I do, really. It's politically incorrect now to not support genocide. I'm having brain rot reading that message. I think the double negative ruined my brain. But yeah, I don't know how it's politically incorrect to call for the end of a genocide. That was not on my 2024 bingo card and was not on my 2023 bingo card, for sure. Love your headband and eye makeup. Thank you, Christy. You're so sweet. Welcome back to your daily dose of drag feather. We are just talking about the things that I shouldn't be because I'm bored and I have nothing better to do. But I am gonna go soon because I do have actually some work to do now because it's almost 9. So, yeah, most of the work I do is usually at nighttime, believe it or not. Like my work hours are from 9 to like, I want to say like 9. It's awful. So when you see me go live really late at night, that's probably why. I work from home most of the time, unless I'm like going out to like attend an event that like my management tells me to. Otherwise, I'm pretty much in the house doing like all the like stuff that they tell me to. So it's pretty good. But yeah, so I guess that was just what I had to share for the day, you know? The moral of the story is to not give a shit what anyone else says about you. The other moral of the story is to literally not listen to what any book or other person's perspective tells you about what you do in your spiritual practice. Like, you're not going to hell if you practice witchcraft, okay? I'm here to let you know that, all right? I'm here to also let you know that if you're a witch, God loves you if you subscribe to that. If you want God in your life, God will be in your life. Fun fact, the way you believe in God determines the way that God shows up for you. So you do with that what you will. Please do not feel ashamed of being who you are. If you have some conflicting beliefs, that's allowed. You know what I mean? Like, I'm allowed to believe in God. I'm allowed to believe in, you know, goddesses. I'm also allowed to believe in dragons and practice witchcraft and still go to heaven. Surprise. Or Summerland, or Paradise, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Whatever you want to call it. You know, so all I'm going to say today, my friends, is that you deserve better. You deserve better from yourself. You deserve better support from yourself, and it's not your fault because no one really taught you how to do that. But that's what we're here doing together here on the channel. We are taking it one step at a time together so we don't get too scared by ourselves. And so we don't get scared back into being the way that other people want us to. We got our hands together and we're moving forward, okay? Like, I have been through way too much bullshit in my life to let it be for nothing. And that's why when I show up on this channel, it's a miracle every single time, because I almost didn't make it, you guys. Like, I mean that literally. Literally. Like, so literally, my own dad was scared to join this live, literally. Like, so please understand that, like, I didn't just survive as a fluke. No, I chose to keep going. I chose to live. I chose to survive. No matter what I did, I said, I will survive. No matter what I was going through, I chose, I will survive. I will get my dream. I will heal the world, and no one can stop me. Period. Because I am the music industry. And I am the force to be reckoned with. I am the dragon. You know? Like, I will never, ever, 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 ever forget. And I hope that you guys never forget it too, because chances are you guys have been through some shit too. And chances are you guys also might have been through some shit that has almost taken your life too. And you are still here for a reason. And I don't care what anyone else says, because, like, take me as living proof, you know, because had I not still been alive today, I couldn't have this live stream with you right now. And, you know, who knows, maybe my live streams really are helping you. I don't know, they're certainly helping me, you know. And, like, if anything, me showing up on these live streams is just as much for my inner child as it is for yours. And I hope that every single time you see one of my videos, you are inspired to believe in magic, and you feel a little closer to God, and you feel like you belong, because, like, I've spent way too much time living my life feeling like I don't belong, and I don't want you guys to feel like you don't belong. So you guys belong here with me in a place where the only where we fit is together. So cheers to the hatchlings. You guys are the absolute best. I will bow to you every time. Like, you guys, I don't even understand. Like, I will literally always champion you guys first and foremost, and I will never let anyone else forget it. You kidding me? Like you think your audience is cool? Dude, you haven't even met the hatchlings. So cheers to the hatchlings, you guys. Honestly saved my life, to be honest. And next time I come on here, Pickle Chip says that we have earned a live stream where you guys can do a Q&A with him. So I wanted to say thank you, and I hope you guys are looking forward to the Q&A with Pickle Chips. It will be so much fun, and I will absolutely see you soon. But until next time, stay geeky, cheeky, and freaky, little hatchlings. that's the attitude. I will change the world and I am a force to be reckoned with. Hells yeah. But until next time, blessed be and bye.